Chapter 176. More and more people realized that they had been hit by the blood poison debuff. Before the battle even started, everyone was already losing HP. Fuck, as long as we're in the blood mist, we'll have this debuff? Fuck, who can take it if they keep losing HP? Everyone drink your potions. A prophet looked at this red world in horror and muttered. Blood fiend soaring to the heavens? Blood surge. Oh my god. This is a 5-star destruction difficulty. 0. 5% HP loss every second. And after deducting the player's HP recovery, if they did not drink their potions, they would die in 4 to 5 minutes. It must be noted that the so-called Blood Demon Army had yet to appear. The activation of the Wuxia server's server-wide quest attracted the attention of many players from other servers. Although the 50th day celebration was tempting, only one person could get the chameleon supercar in the end. The competition among the top players was the most intense. There were still many people who were paying attention to the world's first Bloodseeker invasion. Perhaps one day, they would experience all of this as well. At this moment, seeing the Wuxia players losing HP collectively, these players from other servers were shocked. This is too much. 0. 5% HP loss every second may not seem like much, but if it lasts for 12 hours, no one can withstand it. This is a percentage HP loss. It doesn't matter if you're strong or weak. I can already foresee that the Wuxia server will no longer have a celestial mountain main city. Before the Bloodseeker army arrived, the blood mist had already caused the players to panic. Everyone drink your HP. Send people back to the celestial mountain main city to buy potions immediately. No, we have too many people on the front line. Organize a 50-man supply team to buy healing potions. Let everyone use medium and small healing potions together. Damn it, how many potions do we need to hold on? When will the Bloodseeker army appear? Previously, everyone was hoping that the Bloodseeker army would not appear too early. Now, they could not wait for the Bloodseeker army to arrive, while they still had the ability to use potions to maintain their HP. The Frenzy Wave Guild was in the middle of the defense formation. Lung Nua had also asked Hua Luo to organize a supply team, and was returning to the Celestial Mountain to buy healing potions. We haven't even started fighting, and I have a bad feeling about this, Ingjun complained. To hold on for 12 hours, my god, it's impossible. Unless we can defeat the Blood Demon Army. But we don't even know what the Blood Demon Army's commander looks like. At this moment, Little Ming suddenly shouted, there are players outside who say that they saw the Blood Devil Army. What? That person said that an army of millions of monsters is rushing towards us. Moreover, all the bosses and monsters along the way have been assimilated. Their army is getting stronger and stronger. Fuck. No way. 10 Steps said in shock. Wouldn't the 50th day celebration increase the difficulty of our game? Lu Chen slowly woke up. After a nap he felt much better. Xiaomin, you didn't kill any bosses last night? Boss, not a single one. Lu Chen shook his head. It seemed that only discovered instance dungeons would have activities. Sai, it seems that trickery won't work. We still need to find the dungeon, Lu Chen grumbled. Why did the weather change? Lu Chen noticed the changes in his surroundings. Boss, the Blood Demon invasion has begun, Xiaomin explained. Oh, so it's the Blood Demon's skill. It's quite strong. Has the entire map turned into a blood pool? Lu Chen looked at his status. At this moment, he was also poisoned by the blood poison. Thanks to his battle recovery, he did not lose any health points. Although Lu Chen was not sure if he would stand on the player's side, he was also very concerned about the development of the situation. He opened the official website and found a livestream room. At this moment, the Blood Demon Army had already clashed with the human players. Most of the Blood Demon's subordinates were from the Worshipping Moon sect. They could directly recruit blood skeletons from the fog. They were all around level 35. On the other hand, most of the human players were at the upper limit of level 20. They were trying their best to resist the Blood Demon Army. Strange, isn't that the golden-striped Black Tiger King? Why did it join the Blood Demon's side? Lu Chen noticed this strange phenomenon. There were many other instance dungeon bosses in the Blood Demon Army. Fuck, did they get assimilated? They're so strong. Lu Chen said with a frown. Although the human players' levels were low, there were many of them. The defensive line had not been broken through for the time being. However, Lu Chen discovered that they had all been poisoned by the blood poison. On the other hand, green numbers kept floating above the monsters' heads. The green numbers represented the recovery of health points. They can heal. Lu Chen thought carefully. He had fought the worshipping moon sect members before. They did not have any healing skills. Moreover, the situation now was that all the monsters that had lost health points were being healed. Could it be? Lu Chen suddenly thought of a possibility. At this moment, the streamer Lua Lua was shouting, "Oh my god, there are so many monsters. We can't stop them. This damned blood mist reduces our health points, but it heals the monsters." Lua Lua's words confirmed Lu Chen's guess. Fuck, it actually has such an effect. Lu Chen's mind raced. In the worshipping blood pool, his health points were reduced because he was not on the same side as the worshipping moon sect members. However, it was different now. The blood demon had walked out. The other monsters would be assimilated by the blood mist. This way, they would be on the same side. To confirm his guess, Lu Chen immediately took off his human skin. His terrifying body was released from the human skin. The blood poison effect on his body instantly turned from red to green. Blood healing? Recover 0.5% of my health points every second. Fuck, it's really like this. Lu Chen opened his eyes wide, although his head was floating to the side. Ha 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 ha, monster invasion. This daddy is also a monster. This feels good. After jumping down from the tree, Lu Chen released rhubarb. Rhubarb, do you know how to break this stone pillar array? I need to quickly get some ancient materials. Woof 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 woof. The system translated rhubarb's meaning. I heard the master mention the ancient battlefield's stone pillar array. These are the ruins left behind by the ancient battle. In order to activate the stone pillar array, you need enough reputation. Reputation? What reputation? Rhubarb. The player's main city reputation, or the monster reputation that corresponds to the main city reputation. Lu Chen only had monster reputation. Using monster reputation constantly allowed him to go further and further on the path of evolution as a wild monster. In this way, monster reputation was equivalent to main city reputation. How many reputation points do I need to activate the stone pillar array? Rhubarb, I don't know either. But the master said that to activate the ancient battlefield, a large number of players would need to work together. So, I'm sure that to activate the ancient battlefield, you need tens of millions of reputation points, or even more. Lu Chen frowned. If he exchanged all the materials he had for monster reputation points, it would be around 10 million. Not to mention whether he could activate it after exchanging all his reputation points. Even if he could, he wouldn't activate it. These materials were all needed for evolution. He had saved them for a long time. If he had ancient materials, and didn't have any evolution materials, wouldn't it be more painful? Tisk, if you want reputation points, there's also the celestial killing mountains mythical beast. Lu Chen frowned. If that's the case, then let me think. Looks like this time, I'm destined to stand against the celestial mountain imperial city. Lu Chen sneered. Interesting. Chapter 177. At the celestial mountain royal city, the battle had just begun, and it had already reached its climax. Medicine Master, heal them. Quick. Focus fire, focus fire. It's meaningless to lose half of their HP. Kill as many as you can and create an advantageous situation for the front line. Front line, hold off the blood skeletons. Back line, kill their spiritualists. If the spiritualists don't die, they can still be summoned. Oh my god, what's that thing behind their army? It's so huge. Someone noticed a huge creature at the back of the Blood Devil army. It was at least 20 meters tall. Although they couldn't see its appearance clearly, they could see that it was moving slowly. Fortunately, the humans were holding the front line tightly. Both sides were in the same place, so that thing couldn't pass through for the time being. Is that a Blood Devil? I don't know. Forget it, defend first. At the Guild Alliance, someone was assisting in the command. The front line can't hold on much longer. Medicine masters from the second and third lines, go and help. Tell them to act according to the situation. If the front line can't hold on, retreat. The pugilist at the front line, Monk's HP was dropping too quickly. After a few stacks of blood poison, his HP was dropping rapidly. Even with a few medicine masters healing him, his HP bar was still going up and down. Fuck, this poison can stack. We can't hold on much longer. Back line, activate it. Kill as many as you can. The person in charge of the first line of defense roared. Not long after, his HP dropped by half. The medicine masters didn't have enough spiritual energy to heal him at all. In less than 3 minutes, the first line of defense collapsed. Chairman, we have to change our strategy. That poison is too vicious. The Guild Alliance was urgently discussing a countermeasure. Yes, I got it. Once the blood poison stacks up, even the gods can't save you. Inform everyone. Once the front line stacks up to 3 stacks of blood poison, retreat immediately. The tanks at the back line will take over immediately. The tanks at the 60 lines of defense will move quickly. Okay, understood. I'll pass the message immediately. It had to be said that Wuxia's Guild Alliance reacted very quickly. They immediately changed their strategy and replaced the tanks with more than 3 stacks of blood poison. Once the blood poison effect disappeared, they could form a new combat force. Only the tanks moved, and the attackers didn't move. This saved a lot of time, and didn't disrupt the entire defensive formation at the same time. Yes, Wuxia's command is very smart, isn't it? As expected of an ancient war powerhouse. They reacted very quickly. I think this method will be quite useful. As long as the problem of the blood poison is solved, and the front line is not in chaos, they will have a chance to stop this attack. This tactic can be applied to our blood fiend invasion in the future. Of course, the players were able to stop the invasion of the Blood Devil army, because Wuxia's players had made sufficient preparations in advance. If they had not set up these 60 lines of defense, the players' army might have collapsed at once. The execution ability of Wuxia's players was terrifying. Even if they were solo players, most of them could complete their own quests, under the command of various professional players. Tanks at the back, get ready, go. Hold on. Nanny, heal me. DPS, focus fire. Don't scatter your firepower. They regenerate HP very quickly, so we must kill them. All the guild leaders yelled at the top of their lungs. All the players did their best to resist the invasion of the Blood Demon army. Lu Chen was rushing to the battlefield. 10 minutes later, Lu Chen saw the army of monsters in front of him. Golden Retriever, go back. Xiao Min, possess me. Lu Chen was currently in his monster form. He used all 8 legs and rushed toward the army of monsters. He also had a buff blood healing, which recovered 0.5% of his maximum HP every second. When he reached the back of the army of monsters, Lu Chen realized that the other monsters did not attack him. Hee, it feels like I'm back to the time when I killed the gnolls. Lu Chen smiled. Don't panic, everyone. We're on the same side. Not far away, a terrifying monster that seemed to have come from hell stood out. It was at least 20 meters tall, and had a ferocious face like a devil. It even had a pair of wings on its back. That's the blood fiend. Lu Chen looked at it again. Yes, it looks very strong. It's best to protect it. Who knows, we might have to rely on it to kill the divine beast. Looking at the front line of the battlefield, the human players were actually blocking the army of monsters. Damn, not bad. Facing the attacks of the moon-worshipping sect members, and the loss of HP from the blood mist, they can still hold on. Lu Chen could not help but sigh. The players were really too hardworking. Lu Chen squeezed through the monsters around him, and kept getting closer to the front line. Not long after, he heard the command of the human team leader. Tanks in the front line, hold on for 30 seconds. Tanks in the next line, get ready. Everyone, you must hold on. For the main city of the Celestial Mountain, we must hold on. Pharmacists, don't be afraid of running out of mana. Heal up. DPS in the back line, get ready to change. The front line is out of mana. We can do it. We're the strongest. Lu Chen frowned slightly. It turned out that they were using this method to block the army of monsters. Now the army of monsters had only broken through 1 line of defense. If this continued, they might really be blocked. He quietly retreated to the back line. He felt a little guilty. Sigh, I'm sorry. For the sake of the mythical beast, for the sake of reputation, Nameless can't come this time. Only Mad God can come. Lu Chen shook his head. At most, I'll promise you that I'll kill the Gorfiends in the end. Friends, goodbye. Tiger Roar. Great Ravager Sweep. A series of sword auras broke through the air. The skill did not harm the friendly units, and directly pounced on the human players. The 10-meter-long sword auras crazily smashed into the crowd. Minus 3,213. Minus 3,114. Minus 3,208. The originally stable line of defense was instantly blasted into several gaps. Damn, what's going on? Not good, it's an AoE skill. Damn, there's a limit to the damage. There's a few thousand of them. Not good, there's a gap. The army of Gorfiends is coming in through the gap. Backline, fill in immediately, quick. A gap appeared in the line of defense. Blood skeletons and various dungeon bosses madly rushed through the gap and into the crowd. When the Guild Alliance saw this, everyone's faces turned pale. Not good, the line of defense is about to collapse. Why does that skill look a bit like a Nameless skill? Nameless skills were also obtained from the wild monsters. There are too many wild monsters now, so it's hard to differentiate. Don't worry about this, quickly think of a way. Mobile troops, fill in immediately. At this moment, a few more sword auras attacked, and more gaps appeared in the line of defense. The army of monsters was advancing. Oh my god, how are we going to block this? The Guild Alliance quickly came up with a new strategy. Players, there are monsters with strong AoE skills among the wild monsters. Our line of defense may not be able to block them. I know that everyone may drop equipment after death. Our Guild Alliance does not have the funds to bear the loss of equipment for all players in the server. We are not qualified to ask all players to sacrifice themselves. I only hope that everyone can put aside their selfish thoughts. At this moment, Wuxia players must be united as one, and their will is as strong as an impregnable fortress. Medicine Master, ranged players, quickly retreat to the main city of the Celestial Mountain. We will rely on the terrain of the Celestial Mountain. Elite guards will be the last line of defense. Melee players, I implore you, buy us some time. Chapter 178. Melee players, please buy time for us. Although this was a simple sentence, as long as one was not too stupid, they would understand the hidden meaning behind this sentence. Even the pharmacist had returned to the city. This meant that they would have to sacrifice almost all the melee players to defend the city. It was no wonder that the guild chairman's tone was so weak when he made this request. Would the normal players respond to this kind of request to die suggestion? The foreign server players were unusually enthusiastic. Wuxia's server can't hold on anymore. This is asking the melee players to go and die. Only idiots will rush to the front. However, after a while, the behavior of the Wuxia players exceeded the foreigners' expectations. Someone in the crowd yelled, "Fuck brothers, I don't believe that we, the mighty Wuxia server, can't hold on against these bastards. Charge with me if you have the guts. This is not the time to only think about ourselves. Brothers, we can't let the foreign server people see us as a joke. Kill this bunch of trash. Pharmacists, don't heal anymore. Go back to the city. Ranged players, run. Melee players, we must buy time for them. What are you afraid of? As long as we don't die, the immortal mountain city won't fall. Charge." An endless number of melee players rushed out from the crowd and pounced on the Blood Devil army like a tide. Ranged players, we must protect the immortal mountain. Charge. Charge. Blood Devils. Killing one is not a loss. Killing two is a gain. The melee players pounced on the Blood Devil army crazily. The players who were below level 20 were fearless against the level 35 monsters. They roared and pounced. Seeing this scene, the foreign server players were completely stunned. Oh my god, during the invasion of the Blood Devils, once you die, you won't be able to go online for 12 hours. Are they really not afraid? Aren't the Wuxia players a plate of loose sand? Why are they so united all of a sudden? These are the Wuxia players. Not only did the Wuxia players respond to this unreasonable suggestion, but they also charged more fiercely than anyone else. In an instant, the players were like blood that seeped into the soil, instantly covering the battlefield. The effect of Lu Chen's Great Ravager's sweep was already very limited. As a member of Wuxia, Lu Chen wasn't surprised by the actions of the Wuxia players. Although the internal strife among Wuxia players was fierce, when they were united against an external force, they could still explode with astonishing power. This was the specialty of Wuxia. However, Lu Chen's current identity was not that of a player. He was now standing on the opposite side of a player. Unless there was an invasion, Lu Chen would not stop. The human army tried to infiltrate the monster army, but the monster army's firepower was too strong. Furthermore, the humans had the blood poison effect, while the monsters had the blood healing effect. The human players who were charging at the front line were constantly being attacked. The stacking of the blood poison effects meant that their HP could not last more than a few rounds. Moreover, a level 35 moon-worshipping cult member's attack power was already very high. Batches of players had already fallen one after another. However, the players were still charging madly. Although the levels of the human players were low, they had a lot of people. Although they were temporarily unable to break through the monster army's front line, they could still hold on for a while. Especially when the group attack skills that appeared just now did not appear again. The pressure on the players was greatly reduced. On the wall of the Celestial Mountain main city, a group of players was observing the situation on the battlefield. From the looks of it, they should be able to hold on for a few hours. Then we can rely on the Celestial Mountain's defense to hold on for 12 hours. If they can hold on for 6 hours, leave the rest to us. We must defend the Celestial Mountain. We can't betray their trust. Everyone, recover your spirit chi first. In a while, the medicine masters will be frantically healing the elite soldiers. Attack quickly and kill the monsters. However, at this moment the giant demon finally moved. You ants, stop your meaningless resistance. A deep voice that seemed to come from ancient times resounded throughout the Celestial Mountain. Immediately after, the blood demon spread its wings and flew into the air. Then it fiercely fell from the sky. Its huge body smashed heavily into the human players. With a loud bang, the entire Celestial Mountain could feel a tremor. With the blood demon's feet as the center, red rings burst out and kept expanding outwards. There were a total of 5 rings that spread outwards at an extremely fast speed. When the blood rings expanded to their largest size, they had a diameter of 200 meters. -3,000, -3,000, -3,000, -3,000, -3,000. The players around it instantly received damage from the 5 blood rings. This damage directly killed a large group of players around the blood demon. Oh my god, what kind of technique is this? On the city wall, the players looked at this scene in horror. If one did not have 15,000 HP, they would be instantly killed. Now, even if it was a melee class, very few people had more than 6,000 HP. It could be instantly killed 2.5 times. With this stomp of the blood demon, at least 10,000 players were killed. There were no longer any players around it alive. More importantly, with this stomp, the players who had just held on to a glimmer of hope instantly fell into despair. Is that the blood demon? It's too scary. This kind of guy, it's impossible for anyone to deal with it. However, the blood demon's massacre was not over. The 5 blood rings were just the beginning. At this time, the blood demon had already moved from the crowd of wild monsters to the center of the battlefield. Everyone could see its appearance clearly. It looked like a demon from hell, with a pair of black flesh wings, and a red longsword in its hand. The blood demon raised its red longsword and roared, "Blood rain!" Immediately after, red rain fell from the sky in an area where there were very many players. A large number of damage figures quickly appeared above the heads of the large number of players who stayed in this area. -1,200, -1,200, -1,200. Although the damage this time was not as high as the blood rings, the blood rain's damage was very concentrated. Also, because the area was too big, there was no time for people to escape. Without a doubt, within the blood rain area, corpses were strewn everywhere. This is also an AoE technique. This is even scarier than the previous one. It lasts for a long time. A few human players took the risk and rushed toward the blood demon. While it was activating its technique, A few longswords viciously slashed at the blood demon's calf. Go to hell. However, the blood demon only lost 1 HP. They could not even see its maximum HP, which meant that the players could not break its defense at all. Fuck, it didn't break its defense. No way. Even the dark iron gold sword can't break its defense? Could it be that only Tiger Sob can hurt it? The blood demon killed 5 people with 1 claw. Minus 7,344. Minus 7,612. Minus 7,319. Fuck. The blood demon's attack has an AoE attack? Is it splitting? It doesn't seem like it. The damage didn't decrease. More than 7,000 damage. The attack is too high. The blood demon's entrance completely broke the balance between the two armies. It was like a tank madly crushing the players. One attack could kill about 10 people in an instant. Moreover, its terrifying skill had a very short cooldown. After a few attacks, it had already killed hundreds of thousands of players. It relied on the fact that the players could not break its defense and rampaged. Oh no, the blood demon is here. Everyone get ready. It's over. We can't stop this guy. At this moment, there was a loud bang. The blood demon had crashed into something. Monster attack detected. Celestial Mountain Defense Array activated. With a boom, a semi-spherical transparent light shield suddenly appeared around the Celestial Mountain. Inside the light shield, there were 5 sage-like men standing in the north, south, east, and west. There were 6 directions directly above the Celestial Mountain. They held various weapons in their hands and propped up this transparent shield. 5 Celestial Sects Universal Spirit Protection Array. Chapter 179. The Celestial Mountain still has a protective formation. The crowd exclaimed. That's great. The Celestial Mountain still has a protective formation. We have hope. In the distance, Lu Chen saw this scene and was suddenly awakened. Luckily, he did not attack the city rashly. His territory had a stage 3 protective formation. How could a place like the Celestial Mountain not have one? The despairing human players saw hope again. Ha ha ha, the Celestial Mountain is really something. It even has such a strong protective formation. That's great. We can stop the Gorfiend's invasion with this. The human players' morale was greatly boosted, especially the melee players. After seeing hope, they became more united and organized, charging even more ferociously. The battle between the monster army and the human players became even more intense. Lu Chen hid behind the monster army and observed the situation. Currently, the Gorfiend was charging at the front alone. This guy had wings and could easily fly over the human player's defense line. Unfortunately, it was blocked by the protective formation. Now the players could not do anything to it. They could only watch as it wildly destroyed the protective formation. That guy should have the ability to destroy the formation, Lu Chen speculated. If it can't even destroy the protective formation, then this server-wide mission is meaningless. If the protective formation alone could protect the Celestial Mountain, then wouldn't it be giving away 2 days' worth of resources for free? Tianxing would definitely not be so easy to deal with. Other than this boss, the monster army and the human army fought fiercely. However, the human players were very tenacious. They continuously blocked the monster army's advance. Lu Chen also knew something that others did not. The Celestial Mountain main city still had a trump card. The Divine Guardian Beast. That's not right. It's been too long. What if it's too late? Lu Chen frowned. The best way to kill the Divine Guardian Beast is to let the Gorfiend do it. I'll take the kill. But if the protective formation takes too long, if the event ends, I might not be able to kill the Divine Guardian Beast. Thinking of this, Lu Chen decided that he could no longer stand by and watch. Alright, I should buy a skin. Lu Chen's current appearance was a little too much. What skin should he choose? Lu Chen hesitated for a moment, and finally chose the Blood Fiend macaque skin. Tear open a few holes and let the wild monsters through. The appearance of the Great Mountain Protection Array boosted the morale of the players. Charge! We can definitely hold them off. Kill! At this moment, the crowd suddenly saw a monkey leap into the air, reaching a height of over 10 meters. Then the long staff in his hand instantly grew larger. Earth-splitting chasm. 100-meter-long staff shadow descended from the sky and smashed into the players. With this strike, tens of thousands of players were hit. Minus 6,134. Minus 6,413. Minus 6,328. Countless damage values floated up above the earth-splitting chasm. Who knew how many players had been hit? Lu Chen was also very cunning. Originally, the earth-splitting chasm's damage should have been 10,000 plus. However, when he used this skill, he adjusted the ratio of his strength to about 6,000 plus damage. Not only could it kill players instantly, but it would also not make people think of Nameless. After all, Nameless had shown this skill in the live broadcast. At that time, it was used against the Nightmare Elves and did not deal any damage. However, there was no lack of data experts among the players. They might be able to calculate his attack. The appearance of this staff was like a blow to the players' heads. Fuck, it's its Nameless skill. Fuck, another powerful boss has appeared. It's that monkey. That's right, that monkey was Lu Chen. At this moment, Lu Chen quickly moved away. Clone. In the process of quick movement, Lu Chen used another skill and left a clone in the crowd. Behind him, a group of players stared at the clone. However, even though the clone only had 50% of Lu Chen's attack power and took 200% of the damage, it was still a nightmare for the players. Fuck, what kind of boss is this? I can't hit it. It's attacking in the thousands. Block it. While the players were distracted by his clone, Lu Chen's main body had already used a second quick movement. In the blink of an eye, Lu Chen was already within the range of the blood demon's blood ring. At this distance, no one dared to come close, and no one dared to chase after him. Luckily, this guy did not use any skills on him. It seemed like he was now treating him as a teammate by default. To ensure his safety, Lu Chen walked to the side of the blood demon. Fuck, I'm so close to the blood demon. It looks a little scary. Lu Chen looked at the model of the blood demon. Not only did Tian Xing make the model so big, but the details were also so realistic. Even the pores could be seen. I think you're uglier than me. Lu Chen shook his head. But your wings are not bad. It would be great if I could get a pair in the future. That flaming sword looks cool too. I wonder if it's a purple weapon. After taking a short break, Lu Chen looked at the protective formation in front of him, then observed the blood demon's attacks. Every time this guy attacked, the flaming sword's flames would burn brighter than usual. It should only be effective if I use spiritual power. My protective formation will only lose durability if I use spiritual power. Lu Chen casually attacked the protective formation. As expected, it was immune to physical attacks. Okay, blood demon, I'm here to help you. It's a good thing to save some spiritual energy. I'll be relying on you to fight the divine beast later. With that, Lu Chen activated Tiger Roar and started swinging his sword wildly. In the Celestial Mountain main city, many players saw this strange scene. A blood fiend macaque broke out of the encirclement and ran over to help the blood demon. However, when the protective formation was attacked, it would not show HP loss. Only by asking the NPC city lord could they know the durability of the protective formation. Therefore, the players could not see how much damage the monkey was doing. In addition, Lu Chen was attacking close to the protective formation, so the players could not see the sword energy. They could only see the monkey crazily attacking the protective formation. Damn, where did this wild monkey come from? It's just a small monster, but it's fighting harder than a boss. Oh right, did the Nameless Monkey King equipment set drop from this kind of monster? This guy is not a small monster. It's a boss. I saw it just now. That earth-splitting chasm was created by it. It also has doppelgangers and displacement skills. It might not be weaker than the blood demon. Not good. Quickly look at the durability of the protective formation. It's dropping much faster than before. It's that monkey. The Guild Alliance quickly gave out orders. Immediately send people over and see if they can pull that monkey away. The players were not stupid. Although Lu Chen looked like a small monster now, anyone who had noticed his previous skills knew that this guy was very difficult to deal with. However, compared to the blood demon, this monkey did not have such unsolvable AoE skills. Earth-splitting chasm was also a straight-line AoE attack. It might not be impossible to avoid it, Therefore, the monkey became the player's breakthrough point. The three teams quickly gathered inside the protective formation. Everyone pay attention. This monkey looks very weak, but don't let your guard down. Our goal is to pull it away. The blood demon can't get close. This monkey is not that strong. If we pull it away, the protective formation can hold on for a while longer. Whether or not we can hold on for 12 hours depends on us. Everyone here is a professional elite. I won't talk nonsense. I only have one request. Go all out. Lu Chen frowned. There was only a transparent wall between him and the monsters. Lu Chen could hear their tactics clearly. Damn, is it appropriate to discuss tactics in front of me? Chapter 180. First, find a few people to enter the blood demon's control area. Force it to use the blood ring. These people would definitely die, but it didn't matter. The others would quickly enter the area. Some people would attract the blood demon's attention, and the others would lure Monkey out. The players explained their strategy in detail in front of Lu Chen. These guys were indeed experienced. They thought of how to lure Lu Chen so quickly. Now the problem was, if the players attacked him, what would he do? Cooperate with their performance? Run after a hit? That would be too stupid. Not cooperate. It didn't seem like a wild monster. Without waiting for Lu Chen to come to a conclusion, three players quietly came out of the mountain guarding formation. The others were also ready. Seeing that everyone was ready, the three members of the suicide squad quickly rushed into the blood demon's control area. The blood demon noticed them immediately and killed them with a blood ring. The first step was very smooth. The blood ring disappeared, and the following players rushed into the blood demon's control area. Everyone was very scattered and rushed toward the two bosses from multiple directions. This could prevent the blood demon from using blood rain. More than a dozen players were killed by the blood demon with a slap before they could get close. Fortunately, the players had already thought of this situation, and the second wave of people quickly filled in. These people couldn't last for more than a few seconds. The key was that at the same time, two groups of people rushed toward Lu Chen. Lu Chen was a little panicked. Were these people trying to attract his aggro? But the problem was that he only had eyes for the mountain guarding formation. Monkey, I'm your grandfather. A player shouted and rushed toward Lu Chen. Come and hit me. Lu Chen was also speechless. Now players didn't have taunting skills, but many players had learned to taunt manually. Shouting at a monster like this was ridiculous. At this moment, without waiting for the players to rush over, Lu Chen ran to the other side of the blood demon. Stop, stop, stop. Fuck, is there something wrong with this monkey's brain? Why did he run to the other side? The boss's position has changed. Not good. There's no one to attract the blood demon's aggro. Retreat first, regroup and come again. A slight change forced the players to retreat from the blood demon's control area. Not long after, the players organized the second wave of action. This time, there were 6 squads and 240 players. The initial steps were the same. First, 3 players would be used to force the blood demon's blood ring out. Then, they would form a suicide squad to lure the blood demon. The Gorfiend's attacks naturally had an AoE effect. They didn't know if it was a splash attack or a split attack. In addition, it had an AoE skill. In short, the price to pay to pull the Gorfiend was too high. The player's focus was still on pulling the monkey. Looking at its size, it would be easier to deal with a monkey. Lu Chen furrowed his brows. This group of players was going against him. Now that Lu Chen was standing on the left side of Blood Devil, the players immediately arranged their forces in this direction. Seeing that there were ranged players in the enemy's formation, Lu Chen did not wait for them to attack, and jumped to Blood Devil's right side. Fuck, that monkey ran away again. Don't worry, we have people over there too. The players on the right quickly organized themselves. Damn monkey, go to hell. Come and hit me. A flying sword shot over. Lu Chen moved slightly, and continued to attack the immortal mountain array. Hey, you didn't even hit him? Why does that guy always like to move around? It's a monkey. Of course it likes to move around. One more time, hurry up. We're almost out of people to pull the Gorfiend. Immortal sword guides the way. Lu Chen moved slightly again. Fuck, this monkey is real. 3 people together, quickly pull it away. Immortal sword guides the way. The players only dared to use Immortal Sword guides the way. If they used AoE skills, they would pull the Gore Fiend, and all their previous efforts would be wasted. This time, Lu Chen simply went to hug the Gore Fiend's leg. He hid beside the Gore Fiend's leg, and relied on it to block the player's line of sight. Fuck, is this crazy? What kind of boss is this? It has its own evasion ability? The players almost broke down. Although Immortal Sword guides the way needed to be predicted, it was a wild monster. Moreover, it was the first move. To be able to miss repeatedly, it was really strange. Every time the skill was activated, the monkey would become restless. It would run around and jump around. Fuck. Don't let me meet this kind of wild monster next time. I'm going to break down. This is great. It ran to the Gore Fiend's leg. Not good. The Gore Fiend's blood ring is going to cool down. Let's retreat first. The players retreated very quickly, but they also suffered heavy losses. Out of 240 people, they lost 160 people. What's wrong with you guys? Why can't we pull it? The person in charge of this mission seemed a little anxious. That guy is crazy. A few members complained. We're fighting the Immortal Mountain Array, but it won't attack. As we fight, it will jump around. Yeah, and every time we're about to attack, it will start to run around. If it runs in a regular pattern, I think we can definitely hit it. But this time we can't figure out its pattern at all. How can we fight it? The person in charge just received news that the Immortal Mountain main city's durability was dropping much faster than before. In addition, the players outside were constantly being attacked by the blood poison. Now their losses were getting heavier and heavier. Once the wild monster army charged over, the Immortal Mountain Array would not be able to withstand it. Speaking of which, when Lu Chen smashed the giant pit with his staff, it directly tore a big hole in the formation of the players. With his clone holding on for a while, a few wild monsters actually entered the Gore Fiend's range of control. This range was a nightmare for the players, but for the wild monsters, it was definitely the perfect safe haven. Lu Chen turned around and saw a golden-striped black tiger king, 7 or 8 moon-worshipping sect members, and 2 or 3 headless flying corpses rushing in. He was overjoyed. This time he had help. Looking back, Lu Chen saw that they had come over from the earth-splitting chasm. Suddenly, a plan came to his mind. Lu Chen ran to the edge of the Gore Fiend's range of control and smashed his staff again. A huge chasm appeared, and the players in the attack range of the chasm were instantly killed. The chasm immediately became a shortcut to the Immortal Mountain main city. The surrounding wild monsters saw the opportunity and rushed over. Block them! Quick! After the nearby players saw it, they tried to quickly fill in the gaps. However, first of all, it was too hasty. Second of all, after such a long battle, not to mention their health points, there were still a dozen wild monsters that rushed into the Gore Fiend's range of control. The number of wild monsters attacking the Immortal Mountain Great Formation was increasing. Lu Chen smiled. This was great. If he smashed his staff when his skill was on cooldown, more wild monsters would rush in. On the city gate, the chairman of the Guild Alliance, Time Dreamless, widened his eyes. Oh my god, is that monkey a demon? It actually knows how to help its companions. I told you, that's not an ordinary monkey. Is it because monkeys have higher intelligence? Didn't Tianxing say that wild monsters have their own ecology? No matter how high its intelligence is, it can't grow eyes on its butt. I think it's crazy. Time, what should we do now? That monkey is too annoying. Time Dreamless frowned, and quickly thought of a solution. Right. That monkey should have gone to help its companions when his skill was on cooldown. Right now, he's at the edge of the Gore Fiend's range of protection. We should use this time to lure him out. To be able to become the chairman of the Guild Alliance, Time Dreamless was definitely smart. Right this time, we'll pretend to be the surrounding players. We can't let him know our intentions. Isn't he smart? Let's be more serious. Chapter 181. Lu Chen waited for his skill to cool down, and happily ran to the edge of the Gore Fiend's protection range. Damn monkey, watch my sword. Dozens of flying swords shot at him from all directions, as well as the explosive specialist's fragmentation attack. Lu Chen really didn't expect this group of players to be so sneaky. In a moment of carelessness, Lu Chun was hit by several swords. Ha ha ha, I finally hit you. Damn monkey, come and hit me. Lu Chun shook his head helplessly. First, he smashed a gully with his staff, then turned back to continue attacking the defensive formation. The group of players who had dodged the earth-splitting gully were in disbelief. Fuck, is this monkey sick in the head? He's not fighting back after being hit? Fuck, this guy doesn't play by the rules. This boss doesn't have an aggro system? That's too shameless. Is it set to prioritize attacking the Celestial Mountain? Lu Chun didn't care so much anymore. He had already laid his cards on the table. In any case, he wouldn't be pulled away by the players. However, he didn't expect that the players would come up with so many reasons. The operation team failed again. They returned to the city and reported the results of the operation to Flowing Time. I saw it, that monkey is too despicable. But since it's set like this, we can't pull him away. There's no need to die in vain. Now we can only try to delay and see if we can hold on for more than 12 hours. Lu Chun was also relieved. After laying his cards on the table, no players came to find trouble with him. This was good too. Then he would wait for the Celestial Mountain's defensive formation to break. After fighting for 2 hours, Lu Chun didn't know how many spirit gathering pills he had swallowed. With a loud bang, the valley shook and the earth shook. The 5 Immortals' Sex Universal Spirit Shield suddenly became solid, like the surface of a glass ball. In front of Lu Chun, a crack suddenly burst open, and he looked at the various areas of the protective formation. It's broken. It's only been 3 hours. It's over. We can't hold on anymore. Sigh. Countless Wuxia players saw this scene and felt despair in their hearts. In the formation, the 5 illusory figures began to fade. The 5 of them looked at each other, raised the weapons in their hands, and pointed at the center of the Celestial Mountain. The 5 weapons emitted a dazzling light that converged at a single point in the city. All the players, including Lu Chun, stared at this scene in shock. The light rays converged at the center of the Immortal Mountain, the Stormy Pond. Suddenly, ripples began to appear on the calm Stormy Pond. From slight ripples to floating waves, then to violent waves. Finally, the entire Stormy Pond was agitated. What's going on? Whether it was the Wuxia players or the foreign server players who were watching the video, they were all shocked by this scene. 72 heavenly flame pillars. 72 heavenly flame pillars suddenly soared into the sky. The immortal at the top of the formation looked down at the entire city. His voice was as loud as a bell, reverberating throughout the city. The remnant souls of the 5 of us have already dispersed, and we are no longer able to fight side by side with all of you. However, the Celestial Mountain still has one last trump card. I hope that all of you can grasp this last opportunity. The man with the immortal aura looked up at the sky and heaved a long sigh. Heaven and earth are heartless, and all races are vying for supremacy. Jiutian is in turmoil, and the strong are respected. We humans are weak, and it is difficult for us to progress on the path of cultivation. However, the path of the heavenly Tao is not something that can be accomplished overnight. All of you must remember that only by not forgetting your original intentions can you reach the end. Only by not fearing danger and obstacles can you reach the great Tao. After the man finished speaking, his gaze finally landed on Lu Chun, the monkey who had been hacking away at the formation the most. Lu Chun was slightly stunned. That guy was clearly looking at him. Becoming a demon or a god is within a single thought. After the immortal finished speaking, he and his companions turned into countless specks of light and dissipated into the air. Lu Chun frowned. Was that guy's last sentence for everyone to hear? Or was it for him to hear? There was no time to think. The situation in the main city of the Immortal Mountain had already changed. 72 heavenly flame pillars soared into the sky. Dark clouds rolled in the sky, and strong winds blew. The entire world became dark. What's going on? That immortal said that we have a trump card? What is it? I don't know, but it looks like it's really awesome. When the immortal said that just now, I almost forgot that this is a game. I feel pain too. Could it be that the Jiutian game is so difficult because of the Jiutian turmoil that he mentioned? Let's not care about that. Let's protect the Immortal Mountain first. I wonder what our trump card is. Lu Chun knew very well what the Immortal Mountain's trump card was. However, What the immortal said just now made it difficult for him to calm down. After thinking for a while, Lu Chen shook his head. I'm being too sensitive. This is just a game. Tianqing must have made the game as realistic as possible. It had been 50 days since he entered Jiutian. Lu Chen realized that he was too immersed in the game. When the initial 3 idiots died, he was so angry that his eyes turned red. He knew that the new 3 idiots were not the best choice, but he did not change them. When he was bored, he messed around with the 10 beasts, chatted with Xiaomin, and talked to Rhubarb. All of these made him more and more immersed in the game. Huff. Lu Chen let out a long breath. I'm thinking too much. Let's see what kind of divine beast it is. In the Windrain Lake, the water suddenly gushed into the sky like a fountain. From afar, it looked like a waterfall. Thunder roared in the sky, and the world was dark. Occasionally, lightning flashed, illuminating a blurry figure in the waterfall. Roar! A roar came from the water curtain, shaking everyone's hearts. Damn! Everyone looked at the strange phenomenon in the sky excitedly and nervously. The next moment, a white figure broke through the water curtain from dozens of meters in the sky and pounced on Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker was not to be outdone. He spread his wings and laughed. Ha 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 ha, you're finally out. Unfortunately, you can't stop me from bathing the immortal mountain in blood. The 2 figures, one white and one black, collided at low altitude. Just the airflow caused by the collision was enough to make some people lose their balance. Oh my god. It's an Aurora White Tiger? Is that the divine beast's true form? It's not its true form. Look at its name. It's Aurora White Tiger Remnant. How is that possible? The divine beast remnant we encountered in the fog forest was not this powerful. Maybe there are different levels of remnant souls. But if a remnant soul is already so powerful, it's hard to imagine how powerful the divine beast's true form is. At this moment, Lu Chen finally saw the divine beast's lineup. It was a huge white tiger with a strong body. Its eyes were wide open, and it pounced on Bloodseeker with its mouth wide open. It's an Aurora White Tiger. Lu Chen's breathing quickened. But this guy's strength is stronger than the green dragon and black dragon in the fog forest. Lu Chen did not think that the Aurora White Tiger was stronger than the green dragon and the black dragon. Perhaps the strength of the remnant soul also depended on the strength of the remnant soul. That was why they were both remnant souls. One could only stay in the fog forest, while the other could become the guardian of the immortal mountain. Alright, no matter what, I must get the white tiger cub. Lu Chen stared at the white tiger. At this moment, the 2 super bosses collided in mid-air and separated immediately upon contact. After both sides landed on the ground, there was another violent earthquake. Neither side seemed to have gained the upper hand in the collision just now. Both sides were furious and roared at the same time. 3 hours and 17 minutes after the Bloodseeker invasion event started, the battle between the 2 super bosses had begun. Chapter 182. Gorfine vs. Aurora White Tiger. The combat power of these 2 super bosses had shocked everyone. Both bosses had more than 1 million HP. Aurora White Tiger had 5 million HP, while Gorfine had 14 million HP. Aurora White Tiger had a high attack combo. However, Gorfine was not a pushover either. Previously, when he was killing players, it was not obvious. But now, he finally found an opponent that could not be killed instantly. Everyone also realized that Gorfine's attacks not only had an AoE effect, but also a lifesteal effect. If the battle continued, Aurora White Tiger might not be able to defeat Gorfine. Time Painless hurriedly gathered the top apothecaries from all the major guilds and formed 3 pure apothecary teams and 10 mobility teams. Everyone be careful. Gorfine is too strong. His attacks have a lifesteal effect. Our guardian beasts might not be able to withstand it. We can't rely on the strength of the Celestial Mountain alone to defend the city. We have to join the battle. Considering that Gorfine's AoE attack is too overpowered, someone will lure Gorfine's AoE attack. Then, quickly enter the healing range and heal Aurora White Tiger. Heal as much as you can. The team that was assisting Aurora White Tiger had already set off. Other than that, the players still had to defend against the army of monsters. Everyone look. The guards of the Celestial Mountain are finally moving. Thousands of elite guards had already gathered at the city gate. Quick, apothecary team, DPS team follow up. We must make sure the NPCs don't die. The battle had been going on for more than 3 hours. Finally, it was time for everyone to join the battle. The attributes of the level 50 elite guards were quite overpowered. In the battle, they were like spears that pierced the enemy's front line. However, the number of guards was too small. There were only 1,000 of them. Moreover, their HP was dropping rapidly in the poisonous fog. Kill the elite. Quick. DPS team, activate the elite target. Kill him quickly, so that he can take less damage. There are more than 5 stacks of blood poison on the elite. Surround him immediately. Don't let him continue to charge forward. Let him out when the debuff is gone. The players were also brainstorming as they tried their best to hold on to the elite. However, it was not as if there were no powerhouses among the monsters. The worshipping moon sect's members were already very high-leveled. They even had level 35 melee blood skeletons with them. Moreover, the 50th day celebration event had spawned dungeon bosses. These bosses were also very powerful. As the elite guards entered the battlefield, the battle became more and more intense. The front lines of both sides were completely torn apart. There were small skirmishes everywhere. In front of the main city of the Immortal Mountain, it was already a mess. Oh my god, the Gorefiend invasion in Wuxia server is too scary. No, on the contrary, I'm a little excited. Look at this kind of chaotic battle. Wow, it makes my blood boil. Now that the Immortal Mountain is gone, let's see if your blood is still boiling. The Gorefiend is too strong. The pharmacists who were healing the White Tiger have been smashed to death by the blood rain. The situation is getting worse for Wuxia. Blood rain is too disgusting. It has such a large area of effect, and has a very long casting distance. It's even easier to dodge than blood ring. The mountain guardian divine beast of the Immortal Mountain is actually no match for the blood devil. The main city of the Immortal Mountain is a level 10 main city. The blood devil is a super boss in a level 30 map. It's normal that they can't defeat him. Moreover, the White Tiger is still a remnant soul. The Guild Alliance had already organized waves of pharmacists to heal the White Tiger. Currently, the White Snow's HP was still considered healthy. It was around 4,500,000. On the other hand, the Blood Devil had the blood healing effect in lifesteal. Its HP had already decreased by 900,000, leaving it with 1 million HP. The White Tiger lost 500,000 HP, and the Blood Devil only lost 900,000 HP. After calculating the ratio, Time Without Pains shook his head and said with a serious expression, "The White Tiger still can't defeat the Blood Devil. Add 2 more groups of pharmacists. No matter the cost, heal the White Tiger's HP back up." Boss, the number of pharmacists is starting to get tight. We also need a lot of pharmacists on the front lines. Yeah, the pharmacists are using too much mana. Everyone's levels are too low. No one can keep healing like this. I know, but... Time Without Withering looked at the White Tiger anxiously. But the White Tiger is down. We can't hold off the Blood Devil. What about Mad God and Nameless? Why can't I see them at a time like this? Someone suddenly mentioned these two. Yeah, if they were here, they would be able to defeat the Blood Devil. Then the White Tiger would be under less pressure. Time Without Withering shook his head. I asked Fengling and Red to contact them. There's no news from Fengling. As for Mad God, Nameless said he won't be coming. What? What does Nameless mean? Why won't he come at a time like this? All of us are risking our lives. Doesn't he have any sense of patriotism? Hongyun's guild leader said angrily. Time Without Withering shook his head slightly. Sky, the current situation doesn't have to be about patriotism. The worst-case scenario is that the Celestial Mountain disappears. Only players below level 30 will be affected. Nameless won't be affected at all. Last time, when our server was attacked by other servers, he already made his move. This time, there are no foreign players coming to cause trouble. It's only natural that he won't come. Time said helplessly. Then what about Solipsistic? He's the one who started this. Time shook his head helplessly again. Mad God? I think we should give up on this idea. He might be higher level than Mad God. Plus, he never appears. Solipsistic was hiding in a big tree, watching the development of the situation. The battle between the human players and the monster army seemed to be in a stalemate. Of course, they weren't the key. The key was the situation of the two big guys. Lu Chun had been analyzing the skills of the two bosses. The White Tiger's skill has a 4-hit combo. This should be a talent. It actually has a 4-hit combo, one more attack than me. Its skills are Fierce Pounce, Tiger Tail Whip, Aurora Flame Cannon. This guy seems to be very agile. Its movement and attack speed are also very fast. The Gorefiend is obviously stronger. The Gorefiend can be seen as its aura. Its attacks have an AoE effect and a lifesteal effect. Damn, it seems like it has AoE and lifesteal. And it can fly. This guy has 2 AoE skills that have killed who knows how many players. His skill has Demonic Entanglement, Flaming Sword Z/, Nightmare, and the lifesteal skill Blood Sacrifice. Damn, this guy really deserves to be called Bloodseeker. Not only does he have a lot of health, he also has so many lifesteal skills. It's going to be tough. The players were helping the White Tiger to recover its health. However, the players' healing was too low. Now there were 5 groups of healers, but they still couldn't heal the White Tiger's health. Hell summoning. The Gorefiend roared. A blood-red circle appeared on the ground full of spells. Damn, what other tricks does the Gorefiend have? The White Tiger's health dropped rapidly in this blood circle. It had no choice but to retreat quickly. Not long after, a huge blood-red skeleton slowly floated from the blood circle. Seeing this scene, Lu Chun was stunned. Damn, I almost forgot. The Gorefiend is the leader of the moon-worshipping sect. He can definitely summon the blood skeleton. But this blood skeleton is as big as the Gorefiend. Oh no, the White Tiger can't hold it off. Chapter 183. After the appearance of the blood skeleton, the players had no choice but to invest more manpower to support the White Tiger. This was definitely going to be a long and drawn-out war. Countless players were advancing dauntlessly, fighting on one side while supporting the White Tiger on the other. According to the official data, the Gorefiend had invaded for 6 hours, and there were 79 million Wuxia players dead. The assimilated wild monsters were still continuously joining the battlefield. As for the players, there were also a large number of players who had just come online joining the battle. With the help of 1,000 level 50 elites, Wuxia players were still able to hold on for the time being on the battlefield. The key to victory was the battle between the Gorefiend and the Aurora White Tiger. On the tree, Lu Chun had been observing the battle between the two super bosses. The Gorefiend had invaded for 9 hours. The White Tiger's HP had dropped to 200,000, almost black. The blood skeleton had been killed, and the Gorefiend's HP was 2,600,000. The White Tiger obviously had the upper hand in terms of HP. Pharmacists, are there any more pharmacists? Quick! Heal! The commanders all around shouted at the top of their lungs. Their voices were already hoarse. Even if there were pharmacists now, they would not have pure spiritual energy to support such an intense battle. The White Tiger's HP was getting lower and lower. 180,000, 150,000, 100,000. Lu Chun had already stood up. He narrowed his eyes slightly and said in a low voice, "The White Tiger can't defeat the Gorefiend at all. This is a bit troublesome. Forget it. Prioritize getting the White Tiger cub. It's not time yet. Let's wait a little longer." The last hit, he had to get it. The Gorefiend's single attack could deal about 10,000 plus damage to the White Tiger, and he had to take into account the pharmacist's HP regeneration. Although it could not heal much now, it could still heal 6,000 plus HP, 90,000, 80,000. The White Tiger's HP could not be seen anymore. Lu Chun quickly jumped down from the tree and rushed toward the two super bosses. The players who saw quickly discovered Lu Chun's tracks. Not good, it's that monkey. Block that monkey. Quick heal. Are there any more pharmacists? Lu Chun easily avoided the players who tried to stop him. Now he only had eyes for the Aurora White Tiger. 84,000 HP. Everyone was staring at the White Tiger's HP. Everyone's nerves were on the verge of collapse. Lu Chun focused all his attention on Bloodseeker. He had to calculate every attack Bloodseeker would make and control the White Tiger's health properly. Only then would he be able to snatch the kill from Bloodseeker. Unfortunately, the blood demon swung its flaming sword at this critical moment. Zichap. Lu Chen was shocked. This skill could deal over 100,000 damage. Fuck, I can't compete with it in terms of damage. Lu Chen's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. After waiting for 9 hours, he was going to fail just like that? Absolutely not. He absolutely could not let Blood Demon use this move. Lu Chen gritted his teeth. He couldn't wait any longer. Earth-splitting chasm. For this attack, Lu Chen had changed his attack mode. He had chosen to attack with all his might. Under this mode, Lu Chen's attacks would not differentiate between friend and foe. Boom! The gigantic staff image slammed into the ground. At the same time, the Blood Demon, White Tiger and countless players gathered around it. The Blood Demon and White Tiger's health dropped at the same time. The damage was around 3,000. What's going on? Why did Monkey's skill hit Bloodseeker as well? What's going on? Monsters can also deal damage to each other? Lu Chen had no time to care about what the players thought. He quickly rushed toward the White Tiger. As he moved, he was calculating the damage. This earth-splitting chasm was an attack with 100% of his strength. Normally, it could deal over 10,000 damage. However, the physical resistance of the two bosses was too high. This caused the damage to be reduced to 3,000. Fuck, their physical defense is so high. Lu Chen stared at the White Tiger. This guy had 81,000 health. With so much health, how was Lu Chen going to kill the White Tiger before the Blood Demon? Earth-splitting chasm, in addition to dealing damage and destroying the ground, could also stun. Normal players would not be able to enjoy this effect, because they would be killed in one hit. However, the two bosses were stunned at the same time. However, the bosses had stun resistance. The stun duration was obviously shorter than normal players. When Lu Chen arrived in front of the White Tiger, the two bosses had already started moving again. The Blood Demon raised his flaming sword again. Fuck! They woke up so quickly. Their stun resistance is so high. Lu Chen quickly rushed in front of the White Tiger. Doppelganger. The two monkeys attacked several times in a row. -788. -1,580, poisoned. -1,580 poisoned. -2,253, double critical hit. -1,580, poisoned. -1,580 poisoned. 384. -790 poisoned. -790 poisoned. The White Tiger's physical defense was around 2,000. Lu Chen's normal attacks could only deal around 700 damage. The doppelganger could only deal half the damage. No wonder the earth-splitting chasm could reduce so much damage. Fortunately, the poison effect was still there. This attack dealt a total of 21,000 damage. The White Tiger's health was left with 60,000. At the same time, the White Tiger clawed at him. The White Tiger attacked Lu Chen's real body. After all, the real body dealt high damage and had high aggro. -85408621841382220. The Aurora White Tiger attacked 4 times in a row, taking away more than half of Lu Chen's health. However, in the current situation, Lu Chen had no time to dodge. He could only take the damage. Monkey King's reverse blood. Lu Chen stepped on the ground. Suddenly, with him as the center, the ground trembled. This skill was the special effect of the purple Monkey King's coat. It could cause a 3-second stun and recover 80% of the user's health. Because of this overpowered effect, Lu Chen had always kept it as a hidden trump card. However, he had to control Bloodseeker now. 3-second stun, interrupting Bloodseeker's casting. At the same time, Lu Chen cancelled his own healing effect. The two bosses would probably wake up in a second. During this time, they could only attack once. There was no time to heal himself. The White Tiger's health was left with 60,000. Even if Lu Chen activated Fierce Tiger Descends the Mountain, he could only deal 25,000 plus damage. Including the doppelganger, it was less than 40,000. Now Lu Chen had two choices. Activate Tiger Roar, and change the physical attack to a spiritual attack. Lu Chen had already calculated his own damage. Including the poison, the 6-hit combo could deal nearly 34,000 damage. Including the doppelganger, it was about 50,000 damage. He was only missing 10,000 damage. Unfortunately, he couldn't insta-kill it. Or he could directly use physical attacks and pray for more critical hits. However, a 50% critical hit rate wouldn't be able to insta-kill the white tiger. If he couldn't insta-kill it, then it didn't matter how much damage he dealt. Seeing that Bloodseeker's flame sword was about to be completed, Lu Chen angrily activated Fierce Tiger, Descends the Mountain. At the same time as his doppelganger, he attacked Bloodseeker. After a round of attacks, Bloodseeker lost 40,000 health. For Bloodseeker, who still had more than 2 million health, it didn't affect him much. However, Bloodseeker suddenly put down his flame sword. Above Bloodseeker's head, 4 words appeared. Blocked meridians. Bloodseeker was silenced. Bloodseeker's red eyes stared at the little monkey at his feet. Lu Chen had successfully attracted Bloodseeker's aggro. Lu Chen was depressed. Originally, he was here to pick up the heads, but now, both of the bosses were eyeing him. Chapter 184. The Aurora White Tiger and Gorefiend had both shifted their aggro to Lu Chen. Lu Chen wanted to apologize to Gorefiend. Bro, I was forced to do this. The players were completely dumbfounded. What's going on? The 3 bosses are fighting each other? Why is that monkey fighting Gorefiend? Can monsters of different species attack each other? But other monsters don't do this. I already said that the monkey is a psychopath. If it wasn't for the fact that no one would expect a player to play the game as a monster in Jiutian, they would have guessed something. You couldn't blame the players for being stupid. In any game, if you suddenly realized that a wild monster was behaving strangely, normal players would never think that the wild monster was a player. They would only think that it might be a bug, or even a small surprise designed by the game producers. But for Lu Chen, being targeted by 2 bosses wasn't a good thing. The situation wasn't good. Looking at the 2 behemoths, at the same time showing an expression of wanting to swallow him alive, Lu Chen swallowed his saliva. Lu Chen couldn't go invisible yet. Otherwise, once his aggro disappeared, Gorefiend would kill the Aurora White Tiger. Lu Chen thought to himself, I'll run with them and restore the Aurora White Tiger's health to more than 100,000. I can also shake off those pharmacists. Quick movement. The 2 bosses chased after him relentlessly. The bosses started moving on the battlefield. The originally calm battlefield suddenly became chaotic. Brothers, let's kill this moon-worshipping disciple. Humans, your time of death has come. A group of players surrounded the 2 moon-worshipping disciples. Suddenly, a blood ring spread out and all the players died. The monsters weren't having a good time either. Pillars of heavenly flame kept erupting around the Aurora White Tiger. The monsters that didn't know what was going on were killed by the pillars of heavenly flame. The 2 bosses moved extremely fast. Lu Chen had no choice but to use quick movement frequently to shuttle around the battlefield. As a result, the human players and the monster army were in trouble. Damn, why are the bosses running around? It's raining blood again. We're doomed. What's going on? Why are so many players dying? The boss went out of control. And in an instant, the front of the main city of the Immortal Mountain was littered with corpses. 9 hours and 45 minutes after the Gorefiend invasion, there were only 27 million players left online. After running for more than 10 minutes, the White Tiger relied on its own health points to recover. Under the effect of blood poison, it was still able to recover its health points. Its health points were back to 120,000. On Bloodseeker's side, with the blood healing effect, his HP recovered quite quickly. He had already slowly recovered back to 3,500,000 HP. When Lu Chen saw that it was about time, he asked Xiao Min to activate invisibility. Sure enough, the moment Lu Chen turned invisible, Bloodseeker's primary target returned to the White Tiger. It raised its flame sword, and after 2 seconds of preparation, it slashed at the White Tiger. 100,000 damage. The White Tiger's health bar instantly turned black. Now is the time. Lu Chen's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. Earth-splitting ravine. Blood Demon and White Tiger were knocked unconscious at the same time. Clone, Fierce Tiger Descends the Mountain. -622. -1,580, poisoned. -1,580 poisoned. 18 hits. The doppelgangers also contributed to the damage. 18 hits. The white tiger, which only had a little over 20,000 health points left, could no longer block this attack. Its huge snow-white body crashed to the ground. Killed Aurora White Tiger Remnant Soul, Celestial Mountain Guardian Beast. Captured 3 million Heaven and Earth Spiritual Energy. Obtained 5 Rank 8 Talent Fragments. Obtained 5 8-star Quality Points. Ding! Obtained item Aurora White Tiger Summoning Stone. Optional. Obtained Rank 3 Soul Source Core X1. Obtained Soul Source Fragments X40. Obtained Grade 1 Spirit Gathering Pills X5. Obtained Treasure Sky Flame Pillar. Purple. Lu Chen was completely stunned. He succeeded. He snatched the white tiger's head from Bloodseeker's hands. He dropped the summoning stone. This item could summon the Aurora White Tiger's remnant soul. It could also be exchanged for Aurora White Tiger Cubs. His ultimate mythical beast quest had finally completed another section. The items dropped by the white tiger also shocked Lu Chen. An 8-star material could be exchanged for 10 million reputation points. He dropped 10 of them in one go. If he exchanged all of them for reputation points, that would be 100 million. Originally, this kind of soul-type wild monster almost never dropped equipment. Whether it was Nightmare Spirits or Serapis, it was the same. However, the white tiger's remnant soul actually dropped a purple treasure. Until now, Lu Chen had never seen a magic treasure before. There was also that soul source core. He didn't know what it was. After 9 hours of waiting, the accurate judgment at the final stage, and several risky decisions, he finally got the reward he deserved. It's really too hard for me. Lu Chen excitedly received the white tiger's items. However, now wasn't the time to be happy. There was still a big guy waiting for him behind. The Bloodseeker with 3 million plus HP. The Bloodseeker was really too strong. However, Lu Chen really wanted to kill this guy. Lu Chen wanted the white tiger cubs, not to break through the Celestial Mountain main city. It would be best if the Celestial Mountain could not be broken through. Although in the long run, a level 10 main city would soon be out of the stage. After all, the players in Wuxia were still counting on a level 10 main city to replenish their supplies and learn skills. The white tiger's drops were already so abnormal. The Bloodseeker was even stronger than the white tiger. Moreover, it was not in a soul-type state. It might even drop some godly equipment. Moreover, they were still in the middle of the Jiotian 50th day celebration. After killing the white tiger, Lu Chen did not receive any boss points. Perhaps the white tiger was not included in this celebration. However, this Bloodseeker was definitely a boss. Its boss points would definitely be very high. That guy only had 1/5 of its HP left. If he didn't kill it now, when would he? Previously, Lu Chen had already observed the Bloodseeker's battle. He already knew its moves like the back of his hand. Every move was followed by a normal attack or a skill activation. He was very clear about it. With 2 quick movements, 2 control skills, 1 invisibility, 1 80% HP recovery, 1 doppelganger, and 1 blood healing effect, Lu Chen felt that he could give it a try. 3 million HP. My poison is much stronger than its blood healing, and my attacks have lifesteal. Then I won't let you hit me. Tiger Roar raised its hand. Lu Chen's attack succeeded, and he quickly moved away to increase the distance between them. Roar. The Bloodseeker was unable to restrain its anger. However, it was hit by Lu Chen's spirit gathering and vein sealing effect. It could not catch up, and could not hit him with its skill. Poison damage continuously appeared above the Bloodseeker's head. The 2 poisons worked together, dealing 3,000 plus damage each time. Earth-splitting chasm. Lu Chen activated his skill, dealing damage and stunning the Bloodseeker. Lu Chen quickly closed in. Another wave of tiger descends the mountain, dealing 30,000 plus damage. At the same time, the 2 poisons' poison duration and spirit gathering and vein sealing duration were refreshed. Spirit gathering and vein sealing was really too useful. Although there was only a 10% chance, under Lu Chen's multiple attacks, the chance of triggering was greatly increased. It would often trigger consecutively. Of course, other than the boss, there was almost no one who could withstand Lu Chen's continuous attacks. Therefore, The advantage of spirit gathering and vein sealing was the most obvious when fighting the boss. After a few rounds, Lu Chen was not hit even once. He even depleted 200,000 of the Bloodseeker's HP. Lu Chen was also not in a hurry. He always made sure that he had at least one skill in his hand. Earth-splitting chasm, Monkey King's reverse health, quick movements, invisibility doppelganger, alternating. This was definitely going to be a long battle. Chapter 185. The Gorefiend had been invading for 11 hours. There were still 23 million Wuxia players fighting. Some of the players who had just come online had replenished Wuxia's army. The monster army was also replenished. Both sides were still fighting to the death. However, what people were most concerned about was the battle between the monkey and the Gorefiend. Time Unwithered had been watching from the city wall for an hour, but his brows were still furrowed. That monkey is definitely not a monster. The guild leaders beside him had the same feeling. I think so too. If monsters can do that, then what are we doing? He's been draining the Gorefiend's HP. He's been attacked less than 10 times. And the Gorefiend's skills didn't even hit him once. It was already unbelievable that he had only been attacked 10 times in an hour. The Gorefiend's normal attack had an area of effect, but it didn't have a combo. Hence, the 10 attacks didn't pose a threat to the monkey. Using the monkey's battle recovery and blood healing effect, the 10 attacks could slowly recover. Is it Nameless or Mad God? Someone suddenly asked. It's too hard to understand if this monster is Nameless or Mad God. But I don't know about Mad God. But Nameless attacks are poisonous. He also has Earth Chasm. Time Unwithered narrowed his eyes. That's hard to say. Nameless skills should be from the boss and equipment. The equipment is also dropped by the boss. Hence, it's not surprising that his skills are similar to a boss. I can understand the monkey's Earth Chasm since he's moving quickly. But why does the monkey have poison in his attacks? Time Unwithered shook his head. I know that too. After level 30, the 9 major classes will undergo a second-class refinement. Medicine Masters can change classes to Poison Masters. The monsters' levels are also high. It's normal for their attacks to have poison. I've played games for more than 20 years and led countless teams. At least, I've never met a situation where a player would play as a monster. If there's such a bug, why didn't Tianqing ban the account? Maybe it's a hidden class in Jiutian? Hidden class? Time Unwithered frowned. Maybe, but we can't be sure. Fortunately, regardless of whether that monkey is Nameless or Mad God, at least he's fighting Bloodseeker now. There was still an hour before the Gorefiend invasion would end. As long as they could withstand the attacks, not only would Wuxia's players be able to protect the Celestial Mountain main city, but they would also receive the double EXP and drop bonus for 48 hours. As for the divine beast of the Celestial Mountain, no one could be sure whether it would be reborn or not. However, as long as it didn't create another blood demon invasion, it wouldn't be a big problem. 40 minutes later, Lu Chen had whittled down Bloodseeker's HP to less than 100,000. 5 minutes later, Lu Chen's doppelganger and fierce tiger descends the mountain and launched the final attack on Bloodseeker. With 50,000 plus damage, the Bloodseeker was finally defeated. No, this is impossible. The blood demon howled before he died. Killed Moon Worship Blood Demon Mystic Realm Map Boss. Obtained 4 million Heaven and Earth Spirit Energy. Obtained Primordial Heart X3. Obtained Primordial Fragment X3. Lu Chen's eyes widened in excitement. Ancient materials. Motherfucker. An ancient material has finally dropped. As a boss that wasn't in a soul state, Bloodseeker had also dropped a large amount of equipment. Ding. Obtained item Blazing Sword. Level 35 orange, unique. Obtained item Demonic Wings, purple wings. Obtained item Demonic Heart, level 40 purple material. Obtained item Blood Demon Talisman, level 40 purple material. Obtained item Blood Skeleton Summoning Technique, tier 5 Spiritualist Technique. Obtained item Primordial Heart X2. Obtained item Primordial Fragment X3. How many ancient materials did it drop? Lu Chen thought for a moment, and roughly figured out the reason. The first set of ancient materials was something that only he would drop. Just like those evolution materials, other players wouldn't drop them when they fought monsters. However, the second set of ancient materials dropped along with the equipment. This item might be useful to other professions, so it was considered a normal drop. Apart from these equipment, Bloodseeker had also dropped some level 40 materials. A large pile of items entered Lu Chen's backpack. Congratulations, you have killed the boss Moon Worship Blood Demon. Obtained 20,000 boss points. Oh, as expected, there are boss points. Lu Chen immediately opened the event leaderboard. Before this, he didn't have any points at all. Now, Solipsistic had taken first place on the leaderboard. With this number of points, other players wouldn't be able to surpass him within a day. Lu Chen blinked and suddenly thought of a problem. His ID had appeared on the leaderboard. Damn, I forgot to hide my ID. Lu Chen thought for a moment, then shook his head. Forget it. I've been playing this account for so long. If Tianqing wanted to ban it, he would have done so long ago. If the players know, so be it. Anyway, they didn't see my original appearance. Once the Bloodseeker died, the blood healing effect on the monsters disappeared, and the blood poison effect on the players disappeared. The event bosses that spawned in the distance would also not be assimilated. Lu Chen turned back to look at the Celestial Mountain main city. The players were all exhausted, but they were still gritting their teeth and doing their best to resist the monster army. However, it seemed like they would have no problem holding on for another 10 minutes. Okay, I've achieved my goal. It's time for me to go. After saying that, Lu Chen jumped onto a big tree nearby. After a few ups and downs between several trees, he was already far away. However, all the live streaming channels were in an uproar. The focus of the discussion was not on the Bloodseeker invasion, but on the ID. So that monkey is Mad God. How is that possible? Also, he killed 2 super bosses all by himself? What the hell, whose side is he on? Is that strange? To be honest, if I had that ability, I would have killed both bosses. I could have increased the event leaderboard and dropped equipment. As long as the Celestial Mountain was not destroyed in the end, it would have been fine. Is the monkey a Jyotian hidden profession? Does the Jyotian have any hidden professions? Can you tell me more about it? I've never heard of any hidden professions. I don't think there are any on the other servers. Did Mad God get the skill to transform? Since the Jyotian has the skill to create clones, they should have the skill to transform as well. We can't be so sure that there aren't any hidden professions. After all, you wouldn't tell everyone that you got a hidden profession. Maybe there are a few hidden professions in the Chinese server, but they just don't show them. Brother Nameless might have a hidden profession too. His skills are similar to Mad God's. Their levels are about the same. If their levels are similar, it's normal for them to have similar skills. Many people have skills like Gale Blast and Night Demon after getting the 3 pieces of the Tiger King. Could Nameless be Mad God? I don't think so. Both of their personalities are different. Brother Nameless challenged the Korean server alone for the sake of the Chinese server. Mad God, on the other hand, seems to be both good and evil. He killed White Tiger and Bloodseeker for the sake of equipment. Yeah, I think so too. Nameless is very low-key, but Mad God never hides his ID. In the past, he used his own account to sell things. Later on, when he was building dungeons, he didn't hide his identity. Have you forgotten? When Nameless challenged the Twin Towers, Mad God saw him challenge them. How could he be alone? But Nameless hasn't appeared in such a big event. Don't you think it's strange? Maybe he has something to do in real life. Isn't anyone surprised that Mad God's strength is already so overpowered that he managed to kill 2 world bosses? The players were extremely curious about Mad God, and there were all kinds of discussions on the forums. For a moment, people forgot that the Wuxia server survived the Bloodseekers' invasion. The players were in a heated discussion, and all kinds of ideas were emerging. However, Lu Chen didn't care at all. He had a bunch of good stuff in his backpack, waiting for him to check it out. Chapter 186. The top floor of the Twin Star building in Sea City was the headquarters of Tianqing Game Company. The top floor was huge, but there was only one room. At this time, the curtains of the room were all drawn, and the light in the room was dim. There was a spacious desk in the room. A man was sitting on the chair, and a person was standing in front of him. The man behind the desk said in a low voice, "Has Solipsistic's identity been exposed?" The person opposite him said, "The players have different theories, and it's hard to come to a conclusion. Unless Solipsistic or we officially announce it, I'm afraid it's still a mystery." The man snorted. Such a thing actually appeared. Boss, that's his opportunity. In Jiutian, opportunities are preordained by the heavens. We have no right to take it away. Preordained by the heavens? That's only 3. In front of me he's just a clown. The man seemed to be very dissatisfied with Solipsistic's growth. Damn it. If he had been exposed earlier, we wouldn't have had to do anything. The players would have killed him off. Right, how are our people leveling up now? Many of them have reached level 42. At level 42, we can start mentoring. There are a lot of rich people waiting to be mentored. Let's get them moving, the man said. Yes, I'll inform them now. The Crown Prince had been very depressed recently. When fighting the Gorfiends, he was muddle-headed and was killed early on. Nameless' fame was increasing and his strength was shocking. Facing this guy who had stolen his mythical beast, the Crown Prince hated him, but there was nothing he could do. If he could destroy their friendship, then he could destroy the royal family. However, Nameless' popularity had risen to the top of the official website's celebrity rankings. He had even surpassed Mad God. There were also a few princess-like goddesses in the circle, who would dance with joy when they talked about Nameless. The Crown Prince could not swallow this anger. The mythical beast should be mine. All those glory, the title of Wuxia's victory, and all those beauties should be mine. The Crown Prince downed the Lafite in his cup. At this moment, the office door was pushed open. The Crown Prince looked at the door impatiently. There stood a flirtatious woman, smiling seductively at him. "You're the Crown Prince? Who are you?" The woman walked into the office and closed the door behind her. "You can call me Master from now on." "Master? What master?" The Crown Prince asked angrily. If it wasn't for her beauty, he would have driven her away long ago. The woman smiled and sat in front of the Crown Prince. She picked up the bottle of 1982 Lafite and poured herself a cup. "Didn't you know that the master-disciple system can be activated at level 42 in Jiutian?" "Ah, what?" The woman took a sip of red wine and smiled. "I'm already level 42. Because I'm bored, I want to take in a disciple." "Why? Can't you understand?" The Crown Prince stood up. "Who the fuck are you trying to fool? Level 42. Dream on. I can only say that your team knows nothing about this game. Won't you know if you go online?" The two of them entered the game at the same time and met at the agreed location. The woman in the game was no different from the real world. However, she was riding a kuan that was 1,000 meters long and was floating in the air. The Crown Prince opened his mouth wide in shock. This is a kuan. Is this your mount? A purple mount? Is that strange?" The Crown Prince suddenly received a system message on the control page. Exquisite purple heart. Level 42 5-star sword manipulation. Wishes to take you in as a disciple. The other party wants you to pay 20 million renminbi. Do you accept? The Crown Prince looked at the other party in shock. Ever since the Immortal Destiny quest, Lu Chen realized that Tian Xing might have known about his identity. However, they didn't do anything. Lu Chen was sure that they wouldn't ban him because of his identity as a monster. Now that he was strong enough, he didn't have to be afraid of being surrounded by other players. If he couldn't beat them, he could run. Therefore, Lu Chen didn't care if his identity as Mad God was exposed. Back at Renai Peak, Lu Chen opened his backpack. First of all, he had obtained quite a few primordial materials. 5 primordial hearts and 6 primordial fragments. Ha ha ha, awesome. Lu Chen laughed. There's no rush. I'll go to the arcane dungeon later and see if there's anything left to fight. Also, the thing that Lu Chen cared about the most was the Aurora White Tiger summoning stone. He tapped on the stone and 2 options appeared. One was to obtain the ability to summon the Aurora White Tiger's remnant soul. The other was to obtain the Aurora White Tiger's cub. Choose cub. Lu Chen chose the cub without hesitation. A white, fluffy little tiger appeared beside Lu Chen. It cried out twice in a childish voice, walked crookedly to Lu Chen's feet, and rubbed against Lu Chen. Haha, this little thing is so cute. Lu Chen picked up the cub with one hand. Don't be afraid of being lonely. I have a lot of friends here. Considering that the cub had just reached level 1 and would be bullied by the 10 aggressive guys, Lu Chen took out 200,000 EXP to raise the cub to level 10. 200,000, for the current Lu Chen, is no longer experience. He checked Little White's attributes. It was about the same as the green dragon and the black dragon. It was slightly higher than the other 8. As expected of an ultimate mythical beast, Lu Chen opened the mission tab and checked the Divine Blood Demonic Seed mission. Collect the 4 ultimate mythical beasts: Azure Dragon, Foodie Vermilion Bird, Aurora White Tiger, Gilded Black Tortoise. Mission progress 2/4. Hehe, I got another one. Beautiful. Lu Chen patted the cub. Little guy, I'll let your friends out. You guys can familiarize yourselves with each other first. Lu Chen expected everyone to be happy and harmonious. The cub saw a group of mythical beast cubs and immediately charged into the enemy formation, fighting with the other mythical beasts. Damn, none of these mythical beasts are easy to deal with. Lu Chen shook his head helplessly. Forget it, let them fight. Right, let's see what a stage 3 spiritual source core is. After checking the items, Lu Chen understood. Simply put, a force could have more than one spiritual source. Spiritual source fragments were materials to upgrade the spiritual source, and the spiritual source core could be considered a new spiritual source. However, in order to store more spiritual source, he would need to upgrade his territory. I don't need the 8-star materials now. I'll sell a few and upgrade the army token. This time, Lu Chen spent a huge sum of money, 8.4 million reputation points, and upgraded the army token to 2nd promotion army token, individual soldier. The color of the army token also turned blue. 3rd promotion army token, individual soldier 284431/3, 000. Army subordinates physical attack increased by 70%, health increased by 100%. Activating the legacy system, and the army member star reward system. Star reward system. After killing a sufficient number of players, the army member can be upgraded and receive attribute rewards. The requirement to upgrade was to kill players. This was indeed the style of the monster army. After the upgrade of the army order, Lu Chen only needed to recruit enough wild monsters for his territory to level up. There are so many things that can be upgraded. I can upgrade my star rank to 6 stars first. While I'm still farming bosses, I can try to recruit a few small bosses. Lu Chen used 3 primordial hearts to upgrade his star rank to 6 stars. Then, he went out to find bosses. Chapter 187. There were still a few minutes left before the event ended, but the monster army was still trying to break through the celestial mountain. After losing the blood fog effect, the wild bosses would not be assimilated. Lu Chen could easily find bosses. I can recruit 10. Among the bosses in the celestial mountain area, Lu Chen wanted to recruit the Roaring Frost Tiger and the Abyss Zombie the most. The Roaring Frost Tiger had an area of effect and was very useful. I'm now a 6-star. I wonder if my star level is enough to recruit that guy. Lu Chen jumped onto a tree to search. Not far away, he saw a blazing frost tiger. Considering that time was limited, and if the players came out and snatched the boss from him, Lu Chen was not picky and decided to recruit one first. However, after taking out the army token, Lu Chen received a system notification. The other party's star level is higher than yours. You cannot use force to subdue it. Lu Chen was too lazy to hit it, and directly slipped away. The Blazing Frost Tiger is also a 6-star unit. Then wouldn't the Roaring Frost Tiger be the same as me? Damn, I still can't recruit it. I can only find the Shadow Tempest Tiger. Forget it. I'll just let my subordinates pass on the skills when I level up. The number of Shadow Tempest Tigers was the highest among the 3 hidden bosses. Lu Chen rode on the Golden Retriever and quickly recruited 10 Shadow Tempest Tigers. Now Lu Chen's army already had 10 tigers, 8 heads, and 3 idiots. In addition, 11 mythological beast cubs were running around and playing around in the territory. The huge Golden Retriever was hugging a tree and shaking it violently. Little Min was floating around, Renai Peak, which was originally cold and cheerless, actually seemed a little lively now. Haha, finally there's some popularity. After the number of army members reached the standard, Lu Chen upgraded the army hall. The expansion of the hall required a lot of materials, so he left it to his subordinates to collect them. However, the level of the army had increased. A level 2 army could have a second spiritual source. Lu Chen tried to use the stage 3 spiritual source core. An irregular crystal that was emitting silver light flew into the air and circled around the Mount of Benevolence. Then, it chose a location and plunged into the ground, disappearing without a trace. Lu Chen was not afraid that the spirit source would run away. As long as it could provide an endless supply of pure spiritual energy for the territory, it could stay wherever it wanted. Spirit source number 2 is in place. That's right, upgrade the original spirit source. Soul source number 1 tier 1, level 266 20ths, soul source fragment. Requires army main hall. Effect of extracting pure spirit energy increased by 60%. Stackable. Soul source number 2, stage 3, level 10/10, stage 3 soul source fragment. Effect of extracting pure spirit energy increased by 230%. Stackable. Current spirit source effect. Gain 3 points of pure spirit energy per minute. The advantage of having a stage 3 spiritual source was that the effect was already 3 times at level 1, so it could ignore the level restriction of the army hall to a certain extent. Damn, this speed is quite good, Lu Chen said in surprise. In 10 hours, he could obtain more than 3,000 points of pure spiritual energy. With 21 subordinates, he could obtain 60,000 points of pure spiritual energy in 10 hours. The problem of the divine beast's pure spiritual energy was greatly alleviated. Opening the army option, Lu Chen also discovered that the army main hall had an additional building that could be constructed. Army camp. The army camp was a place for his subordinates to rest. Here, his subordinates could obtain faster recovery speed, including health and stamina. Army units could also teleport between Lu Chen's location and the camp. This is equivalent to the army camp being used for rest. This is actually quite useful. Be it cultivation or gathering materials, they all require stamina. There's also a teleportation function, which is very convenient. The army camp must be constructed. After the army main hall was upgraded, Lu Chen's personal dungeon could also be expanded. The personal dungeon could be expanded into a team dungeon, and the number of monsters would increase by 5 times. After the expansion, the dungeon fees would also increase by 5 times. The first time was free, the second time 500 copper, and the third time 15 yuan. Before this, the personal dungeon could earn Lu Chen 500 gold per day, which was 30,000 to 40,000 yuan per day. After the expansion, this number would definitely double. Multiplied by 5, it would be 2,500 gold per day, which was 150,000 to 200,000 yuan per day. Based on this calculation, the income from the personal dungeon was truly terrifying. The levels will not change for now. Level 20 is still the mainstream. Let's see how many soul essences are stored in the dungeon. Dungeon soul essence storage. 12343/1500000. In the past, the storage limit of the dungeon was 300,000. Now it was 1.5 million. However, he had only collected 12,000 soul essences. These soul essences did not have any attributes, and they still needed to be synthesized before they could be used. It was definitely not enough for the little guys to level up. Let's leave it for now. After the expansion, the collection speed will be much faster in the future. Lu Chen was looking forward to the possible benefits of leveling up the dungeon this time. If the rewards from a 5-man dungeon were already so high, then the rewards from 20-man dungeons, 40-man dungeons, or even higher level dungeons would be unimaginable. 150,000 a day, that's 4.5 million a month. This is earning money while lying down. The more Lu Chen thought about it, the happier he felt. Right, let's see what level of army I need for the next expansion. The next expansion would be a 10-man team dungeon, which would require a level 4 army hall. A level 4 army requires the army command to be upgraded to level 4. Damn, it seems like I don't have enough reputation now. Now upgrading the army command by 1 level required 4 million. If it kept doubling, 100 million reputation would not be enough. Alright, haste makes waste. 4 to 5 million a month will do. Let's take it slow. The attributes of the new army and the new dungeon had been released, but the construction still needed to be completed. Lu Chen was busy instructing his subordinates to start collecting materials. Poor Shi Hu, who had just been recruited by Lu Chen, became a porter, chopping trees and moving stones together with the 8-headed 3 idiots. Lu Chen finally had time to look at the new equipment he had obtained. Heavenly Flame Pillar, Purple Magic Weapon, Level 1. Upgrade, 0/10, Purple Magic Weapon Fragment. Magic Weapon Effect. With the user as the center, within a range of 30 meters, a maximum of 72 Heavenly Flame Pillars will be formed under the feet of the enemy. The Heavenly Flame Pillar will take 1 second to prepare, and last for 2 seconds. Deals 4 * spiritual attack, 432 points, spiritual damage per second. Magic Weapon requires 1000 points of pure aura to activate. After that, it will consume 500 points of pure aura per second, until the effect is automatically turned off, or the pure aura is exhausted. Oh, this is a spiritual attack magic weapon. The attack did not seem high, but Lu Chen immediately thought of Tiger's Roar. He immediately activated Tiger's Roar, and kept himself in the Tiger's Roar state. In the equipment description, the damage had indeed become 12,000 plus spiritual attack damage. 12,000 in 1 second, 24,000 in 2 seconds. It was still a spiritual attack. Even super bosses like the Aurora White Tiger and the Bloodseeker did not have high spiritual defense. Ordinary monsters were almost completely wiped out. This Tiger's Roar is the real divine skill, Lu Chen exclaimed. In Jiutian, characters had many magic weapon equipment slots. It seemed that one person could equip more than one magic weapon. The first magic weapon, and it's purple. Not bad. I'll equip it first. Chapter 188. The Bloodseeker dropped a bunch of high-level and quality loot. Level 35 Orange Flame Sword. Level 40 Purple Devil Talisman. Purple Materials, Blood Skeleton Summoning Skill Book. Among them, Lu Chen was most interested in the Devil Wings. Devil Wings, Purple Wings. After equipping, gain the ability to fly. Maximum flying speed is 18 meters per second. Every second consumes flying speed x 20 pure aura. Flying speed x 20 stamina. No one could resist the temptation of wings. Lu Chen equipped the wings. After equipping them, a pile of folded black wings appeared behind Lu Chen. Compared to the Bloodseeker's pair, it was exactly the same except that it was a few sizes smaller. Opening the wings, a downward thrust directly sent Lu Chen into the sky. Is this the feeling of flying? Haha, I can fly. Lu Chen flew higher and higher. With his super high vision and flying ability, he could see the entire Celestial Mountain area. His territory, 100 Beast Mountain Range, Celestial Mountain Main City. Lu Chen continued to fly in the direction of Firmament City. But just as he arrived near Firmament City, Lu Chen saw figures in the distant sky. This discovery surprised Lu Chen. He hurriedly descended and found a forest to hide. What's going on? There are still people flying? Lu Chen frowned. What are those flying in the sky? Why are they so big? On the Firmament City map, Lu Chen had only explored Fiend City, Blood Pool, Decapitation Mountain, and the ancient battlefield to the south of Firmament City. But judging from the other party's approximate location, they were in the north of Firmament City. He was already crossing maps. The monsters in Decapitation Mountain were level 37 or 38, and the ancient battlefield should be level 40. Then the north of Firmament City should be level 40 plus. Could it be an NPC? Although Lu Chen was not particularly desperate to level up, his advantage was there. It was hard to believe that someone could level faster than him. Although he was not desperate, many people were. A normal player, if used well, would only be level 20. How could someone reach level 40? I don't think it's an NPC. I saw someone with a guild emblem on their ID just now. But if it's a player, Has Jyotian organized closed beta without deleting files? Lu Chen frowned as he pondered. This question would not be answered in a short period of time. Since he couldn't figure it out, Lu Chen didn't want to think about it anymore. There was no need for him to dwell on it. Lu Chen's advantage had never been his level. Instead, it was his insane stats and his numerous evolvable talents. If level 40+ players did not provoke him, he would mind his own business. However, if they did provoke him, he would kill them all the same. Let's go to the blood pool and see if the mystic realm is still effective. Since he was already here, Lu Chen flew to the island in the middle of the Moon Reverence blood pool and prepared to enter the mystic realm. Lu Chen placed the primordial materials on the stone platform, a primordial heart, and a primordial fragment. Then he eagerly awaited the results. Acquired primordial heart X5. Acquired primordial fragment X5. What's going on? How did I get it so quickly? Lu Chen was dumbfounded. The boss of the mystic realm has been killed. The blood pool mystic realm will disappear in 10 minutes. It turned out that the blood pool mystic realm was different from the Yue mystic realm. The monsters in the blood pool mystic realm had all exited the mystic realm. Since the boss was killed, there were no more monsters in the mystic realm. The reason why the mystic realm had not disappeared yet was because it had been waiting for players to come and claim the rewards. When Lu Chen placed the primordial materials on the platform and claimed the rewards, the mystic realm had also completed its mission and left. Fuck, so that's how it is. Alright, I've earned 4 more. That's a pretty good harvest. I'm satisfied. Orange equipment requires level 35. Let's go take a look at the primordial battlefield. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Chen spread his wings and flew into the primordial battlefield. After exchanging all the 8-star materials on him for reputation points, Lu Chen now had 120 million reputation points. This time, when he appeared in front of a pile of stone pillars, the stone pillars finally reacted. Your reputation is enough to activate the primordial altar. Activating the first altar requires 10 million reputation points. Do you wish to activate it? Activate it. You cannot equip your skin during the altar competition. Please remove your skin. Lu Chen frowned. I can't even wear my skin. Since the system had said so, Lu Chen could only remove his bloody macaque skin and return to his original appearance. Speaking of which, when he was in the form of a monkey, he did not think much of the pair of wings. However, after changing into the form of a wild monster, his wings grew on the back of a poisonous spider's lower body. Instantly it became even more disgusting. Lu Chen shook his head. If he continued fusing like this, he really did not know what kind of monster he would become. I've removed my skin and spent my reputation points. Let's hurry up and start. Lu Chen stood on the ruined altar and said in a bored manner. As you are using wild monster reputation, the altar will summon a human from the opposite camp as your opponent. Heaven wormhole opened. Matching opponent. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. What the hell? What heaven wormhole? Opponent has been matched. The opponent has accepted the challenge. Just as the system notification ended, a white light descended from the sky and landed on the ruined altar. Within the white light, a figure gradually appeared. As the white light dimmed, the figure went from blurry to clear. The person who was summoned was a woman. She was tall about 1.7 meters. Her long hair draped over her shoulders, and her facial features were very delicate. Her pair of big eyes looked slightly fierce. At this moment, she was sizing up Lu Chen in front of her. It had to be said that this woman was really beautiful. Moreover, the stubbornness in her eyes made people want to conquer her. The woman's equipment was quite luxurious. She held 2 swords in her hands, but it was not tiger weep. She had at least 6 pieces of purple equipment. It was unknown where she got them from. However, as soon as the other party saw Lu Chen, the expression on his face suddenly changed. Oh my god, what kind of monster is this? It's so scary. The woman was so scared that the sword in her hand fell to the ground. She shrank to the edge of the altar. She did not dare to look at Lu Chen, but she could not help but take a few more glances. What kind of monster could have such a terrifying appearance? Lu Chen was indeed very scary. He had a spider's butt, 8 legs, a gnoll's hairy chest, a pair of fleshy wings, and a long snake's tail. It was fine if his head was not on his body. But why was it a tiger's head? It was fine if it was a tiger's head. But why was there a pair of wooden horns on the tiger's head? It was also very large, 3 to 4 meters tall. The ID on top of its head was so long that it could not be seen completely. Most people who saw such a thing would be considered brave if they did not piss their pants. This woman was not bad. She was only trembling in fear and did not turn around and run. Lu Chen also looked at the woman strangely. What kind of reaction was this? She was definitely not an NPC. Even if they felt disgusted when they saw him, they would definitely not say it out loud. This woman was actually so scared. She was obviously a player. Lu Chen's head flew in front of the woman. He wanted to observe why this player was summoned. However, this action caused the woman to completely collapse. She raised her head and saw a head in front of her, staring at her. Oh my God, you scared me to death. I don't want to compete anymore. I admit defeat. I want to go home. The woman shouted. She pushed Lu Chen's head away and picked up the sword on the ground. A white light flashed and the woman was sent away. Congratulations, you have defeated your opponent. 10 million monster reputation points are returned. You have obtained the right to enter the ancient battlefield once. Lu Chen was stunned. Chapter 189. Did he scare his opponent away because he was ugly? Lu Chen had never thought that he could be so strong. Speaking of which, as his level increased, Lu Chen felt more and more that the secret of Jiutian was like a huge iceberg that had revealed a small corner. The woman just now was chosen as his opponent, so she should not be weak. Her equipment was also impressive. He did not know where she came from, but Lu Chen had heard that it was some heavenly wormhole. Foreign service? Lu Chen didn't know either. At this moment, a dungeon door that looked like a black hole appeared on the altar. Lu Chen thought for a moment and decided to go in and take a look. Damn, this is a Kuan, it's so fucking huge. Crown Prince was extremely excited. He was sitting on the back of the divine Kuan beast. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that on Blue Leviathan's back, even if all 2,000 members of the royal family were to be placed on it, it would still feel spacious. This is the strength of a player above level 40, with such a ridiculous mount. On the side, exquisite Zixin had her hands behind her back. The wind lifted her purple dress, outlining her faint curves. She was majestic and sexy. Hey, beauty, where are you going to take me to level up? I'm not afraid of being tired. I just want to level up quickly. I must surpass Nameless. I want to ride on him for the rest of my life. Watch your tone, the woman said coldly. Tone? You don't really think that you're my master, do you? I spent 20 million. I'm your client. Client? Exquisite Zixin turned around and smiled. Sorry. I have as many clients like you as I want. If you still don't know your place, get lost now. Crown Prince was used to being arrogant, especially when it came to women. He did not think before speaking, but after seeing exquisite Zixin, he could clearly feel that this woman was not ordinary. Remember, your 20 million is only to acknowledge me as your master. I never said that I won't expel you from my sect. Crown Prince sucked in a breath of cold air. She was right. The Crown Prince finally had some brains. Only now did he realize how powerful this woman was. I'm sorry, master. I lost my composure. I was too impatient. You don't know this, but it was Nameless who stole my divine beast. He's now over level 30. I can't accept it. Exquisite Purple Heart harumphed coldly and turned to look ahead. Isn't it just level 30? Is it that high? Exquisite Purple Heart harumphed. The Crown Prince gritted his teeth and said, I definitely can't compare with Master, but I can't beat him. You want to kill him now? Yes. I wish I could skin him alive and pull out his tendons. Exquisite Zixin nodded and said, You and I can be considered master and disciple. If you can't wait, I can help you kill him. What? Master, help me kill him. That's great. Exquisite Zixin smiled. 500,000. 500,000 for killing a person? This was a game. However, the Crown Prince did not hesitate at all. Nameless lives are worth this price. All right, I'll transfer the money immediately. No rush. We'll talk about it when we meet. I'll help you level up first. If his master was willing to help him, it would be a great help to him. Now the Crown Prince was even more satisfied with his master. The Crown Prince tried to ask, Master, how did you reach such a high level? You're level 42 in 50 days? That's unbelievable. Exquisite Zixin did not get angry. Instead, she looked at the Crown Prince meaningfully. What kind of players do you think are the strongest? The professional players from the top teams. They have a lot of experience, and their awareness and skills are top-notch. Experience? What experience? Experience in games. Then do you think Jiutian is a normal game? The Crown Prince was stunned. Jiutian was obviously not a normal game. It was very different from traditional games. The awareness and skills of professional players were indeed very strong, but that was based on hand-eye coordination. In Jiutian, however, what was required was the coordination of the whole body, based on his experience in previous games. Although the routines could be applied to Jiutian to a certain extent, there was still a big difference between the two. Exquisite proceeded to speak. Your levels are low, so it's not obvious yet. You'll notice the difference when your levels are higher. In Jiutian, there are two types of players who are really powerful. One is those who have extraordinary reflexes, while the other is those who have extraordinary reflexes. The former's advantage is always present in Jiutian, while the latter gets stronger as the game progresses. Meanwhile, the strongest players have both. The Crown Prince listened to Exquisite's explanation in shock. There's no lack of professional players with fast reflexes. They're still very powerful in a short period of time, but they're far from being the strongest players. Before Jiutian officially launched, they found a batch of players who were top-notch in both abilities to conduct a closed beta test. I was one of them. What? A closed beta test where the strongest players didn't delete their files? That's right. Tianqing didn't announce it to the public. According to the agreement, we're not allowed to participate in any of the players' activities before Tianqing gives us permission. That's why you guys never knew about our existence. Now that more and more experts have reached level 42, Tianqing gave us permission to interact with normal players, considering the master-apprentice system. The Crown Prince was shocked. Oh my god, there's such a group of people. Exquisite smiled. What U.S. Secret Realm and Blood Pool Secret Realm? We've already opened them. There's nothing special about them. Then, Master, do you have a divine beast? Exquisite immediately took out a baby divine beast from the monster pen. It was the baby fire Qilin. There were too many experts back then, so I only managed to get one. Fuck. The Crown Prince's eyes widened. His master had managed to snatch a divine beast from the hands of the strongest players. His master's ability was clearly something else. Exquisite scoffed. That Solipsistic and Nameless were just lucky that no one snatched it from them. He could tell that his master seemed to be hostile toward those two. It was no wonder. When she participated in the competition, those who fought with her were all the strongest players. Solipsistic and Nameless were just trying to pick up scraps. In the end, they managed to snatch more than her. Perhaps that was the reason why Linglong agreed to help the Crown Prince kill John Doe so easily. The Crown Prince narrowed his eyes. It seemed that with the appearance of this group of strongest players, the Jiutian would once again welcome a bloodbath. However, there were two pieces of good news. One was that Solipsistic and Nameless would no longer be in the limelight. They would only be reduced to mediocrity. Moreover, they might even drop a divine beast. The other point was that he, the Crown Prince of Jiutian, had grasped this opportunity tightly. He would definitely stand out. Master, let's go and level up. I can't wait. Exquisite smiled. We've reached the level 40 map. Let's go. In 3 days, I'll send you to level 30. Chapter 190. The Wuxia server suddenly released a video of a group of experts. These people's levels were frighteningly high. They were all gods above level 42. The official forums were in a mess. Tianqing finally made an explanation on the front page. Tianqing acknowledged the existence of this group of players. These players had spent a lot of time and effort to help the company complete the beta test. They had contributed greatly to the perfection of the Jiutian game. In addition, Tianxing emphasized that these players would not affect the training of normal players. Since the level cap of the first celestial domain was 50, as long as they reached level 50, before the second celestial domain opened, the gap would disappear. As for the injustice that the players are complaining about, don't worry. We have also imposed many restrictions on this group of players. First of all, the closed beta players will be scattered across the servers. Before the national servers merge, they will not be able to form a team. Secondly, the closed beta players are not allowed to form teams, sell equipment, attack normal players, or enter maps below level 30. Of the 9 heavens, only the first heaven has been opened. The level gap that everyone is seeing now will be negligible in the future. It will not affect the balance of the game. Actually, anyone who had played the game before knew that the game had a closed beta period. Closed beta without deleting files was nothing new. For example, in some games, only the closed beta players could get limited skins. Others could only look at them with envy. It was a reward for the players who participated in the closed beta. They could only blame themselves for not being able to get a place in the closed beta. Now that Jiutian had imposed many restrictions on the closed beta players, many players felt that the game was unfair. Following the appearance of this group of super players, a group of core members of the guilds were taken away by the experts. When the players saw the various mounts, they went crazy. I saw a god in our server today. He was flying on his sword. He was really flying on his sword. We have a gourd coming over to recruit disciples. That gourd was dozens of meters long. It was golden on the outside, and had dragons and phoenixes carved on it. It was so cool. He's here to collect some mounts. I took a picture of him coming over on by Zay. Fuck, I'm dying of jealousy. This group of experts did not show any strength, but just looking at their mounts was enough to make people admire them. Speaking of which, I was already amazed when I saw Nameless mount in the past. Now that I look at it, Nameless mount doesn't seem all that impressive. I can't believe he had the nerve to show off his mount. Nameless, even Mad God has to step aside. Don't be jealous. Bro, Nameless isn't a closed beta player. It's already amazing that he can get a mount. This is nothing. I saw a Kuan today. A green Kuan, do you know how big it is? Even the main city of the Immortal Mountain has been enveloped. Nameless Mad God had fallen out of the top 10 of the official player popularity rankings. Every one of the top 10 players had a divine beast mount that could make one's blood boil. Kuan Peng by Zay, Paper Fan, Copper Cauldron, Gourd, Giant Sword, every single one of them made one's blood boil. Lu Chun was currently challenging the Ancient Battlefield Instance Dungeon. The Ancient Battlefield Dungeon was very different from other dungeons. This dungeon used a countdown. The total time was 1.5 hours. Lu Chun did not know what this meant for the time being. The monsters in the dungeon were all level 40 elites. There were many of them, but they were all soul-type monsters. The EXP they gave was considerable. They would also drop pure spiritual energy, but they would not drop equipment. Where did you get that woman's purple equipment? Lu Chun was still thinking about the woman summoned from the altar. It was worth mentioning that Lu Chun's farming method had changed. He was too lazy to pull monsters and use Great Ravager to harvest them. Instead, he directly used Heavenly Flame Pillar. Heavenly Flame Pillars constantly appeared around him. He could both pull and kill monsters. Killed Ancient War Soul, level 40 elite. Captured 40,000 spiritual energy. Obtained stage 5 talent fragment. Obtained 2 5-star quality. Obtained 2 pure spiritual energy. Killed Ancient War Soul, level 40 elite. Captured 40,000 spiritual energy. Obtained 2 stage 5 talent fragment. Obtained 2 5-star quality. Obtained 2 pure spiritual energy. This treasure is amazing. I can get EXP just by walking around. Lu Chun was leveling up too easily now. He had earned more than 1 million EXP just by walking around. The EXP here is not as high as in Fiend City, but there are more monsters. Moreover, the pure spiritual energy is hidden here. Overall, this place is more suitable for leveling up. As long as monsters rushed over, they would be killed by the Heavenly Flame Pillar before they could reach him. Lu Chun did not even have the chance to attack. Of course, The treasure itself was not that strong. The key was the effect of Tiger Roar. Although Lu Chen was walking around, his leveling speed was not slow at all. It was no different from pulling monsters and killing monsters together. Not long after, Lu Chen arrived at the boss room. A huge humanoid creature stood in the room. It was more than 10 meters tall. It held a large sword and wore armor. Ancient War General, level 42 soul-type boss. It's okay if you don't drop any equipment. Please drop an ancient material. Lu Chen did not know how strong this guy was. After thinking about it, he decided not to take the risk. Xiao Min, use invisibility. Lu Chen entered invisibility. Then, Lu Chen walked to the boss side. A ball of light suddenly appeared under the boss' feet. A second later, a heavenly flame pillar directly hit the boss. 1084-10842. Damn, 1,600,000 HP. This boss is so strong, Lu Chen said in surprise. It also has more than 1,000 spiritual defense. Damn, the spiritual defense is too scary. It seems that the ancient battlefield dungeon should be very difficult. The boss was very depressed. It did not see any enemies. Why was it losing HP? It looked back and forth, but did not see anyone. However, heavenly flame pillars kept appearing under its feet. It was losing more than 10,000 HP. Its 1,600,000 HP could not bear such a loss. Lu Chen was actually standing beside the boss. However, he was invisible. The treasure was indeed a treasure. When it attacked on its own, Lu Chen did not need to reveal himself. This fucker, Lu Chen said with a sinister smile. I can settle it with the treasure. Not long after, the boss was burned to death by the heavenly flame pillar. Killed Ancient War General, level 42 Ancient Boss. Obtained 840,000 heaven and earth spiritual energy. Obtained 2 tier 7 talent fragments. Obtained 2 tier 7 quality points. Obtained 2 pure spiritual energy. Ding, obtained primordial heart *1. Oh, the primordial heart dropped. Lu Chen said excitedly. With a ding, it meant that it was a normal drop. It was very likely that it was a guaranteed drop from the ancient boss. Haha, this is great. I finally found the source of the primordial material. After defeating the boss, Lu Chen still had 1 hour and 04 minutes left in the dungeon. Why is there no exit? Lu Chen looked around. There was indeed no way out of the dungeon. Therefore, he walked towards the entrance. Perhaps the entrance was the exit. Just as he was about to leave, Lu Chen suddenly heard a heavenly flame pillar behind him. He turned around curiously. When he turned around, Lu Chen was shocked. The dungeon had spawned another ancient war general. That guy was being bombarded by the heavenly flame pillar with a confused expression. Damn, so that's how it is. This dungeon will keep spawning bosses. Lu Chen finally understood the function of the countdown timer. It was the remaining time in the dungeon. In other words, he still had more than an hour to kill the ancient war general. Spirit-type monsters were immune to physical attacks. The damage of Great Ravager's sweep was obviously lower than the heavenly flame pillar. Since that was the case, Lu Chen only needed to stand there and wait for the boss to die. With 20,000 plus damage in 3 seconds, even if the boss had 1,600,000 HP, Lu Chen could still kill one in 4 minutes. Not long after, killed Ancient War General level 42 Ancient Boss. Obtained 840,000 heaven and earth spiritual energy. Obtained 2 tier 7 talent fragments. Obtained 2 tier 7 quality points. Obtained 2 pure spiritual energy. Ding, obtained primordial heart *1. What the heck, that works too. Lu Chen himself was stunned. Chapter 191. Half an hour later. Killed Ancient War General, level 42 Ancient Boss. Obtained 840,000 heaven and earth spiritual energy. Obtained 2 rank 7 talent fragments. Obtained 2 7-star quality points. Obtained 2 pure spiritual energy. Ding! Obtained Ancient Heart *1. So boring. Lu Chen laid on the ground. He no longer felt anything when he saw the 2 lines of words. He did not have to do anything other than wait for the reward. It was too boring. Lu Chen swallowed a few mixed energy gathering pills to ensure that his pure spiritual energy was full. He then said to Xiaomin, Xiaomin, just make me invisible. I'll go to the official website. Okay, boss. Speaking of which, no one knew that he had a purple spirit pet yet. However, with Xiaomin around, Lu Chen was indeed much more convenient. After giving instructions to Xiaomin, Lu Chen hung up and went to the official website to read the news. Damn, there are so many level 40+ experts. Lu Chen was a little surprised. He looked at Sky Travel's announcement and roughly understood what was going on. Oh, I knew it. So the ones I saw were closed beta players. Lu Chen did not think much of it. On the official website, there were all kinds of news. Jiutian Online had exceeded 2.6 billion. The various governments met with Sky Travel's staff. There were all kinds of speeches or interesting things about the players. There was nothing interesting. The most lively were still the live streams and forums. The live streams were currently broadcasting the various scenes after the Bloodborne invasion in the Wuxia server. Everyone was cheering for the Bloodborne invasion. They were looking forward to the double reward that was coming. There was nothing interesting to see. When Lu Chen opened the forums, a pinned post finally caught his attention. Nameless scoundrel. Do you dare to fight? What's this? Lu Chen entered. That's right. Nameless scoundrel. I'm talking about Nameless bro. I'm the crown prince of the royal family. This is the guy who stole my 2 divine beasts. I, the crown prince of the royal family, would like to officially challenge Nameless to a wild duel. The wager is 10 million or a divine beast cub. Nameless, aren't you very arrogant? Aren't you the strongest player? Let me ask you, do you dare to accept my challenge? I spent money to pin the post at the top for 7 days. It's impossible for you to not see it. If you don't dare to accept the challenge, it means that you're a coward. Next time you see me, kneel down and count out 3 times. A group of people replied to the post. What the hell? Nameless challenge. Is the crown prince crazy? The wager is a divine beast cub? Does the crown prince have a divine beast cub? Will Nameless accept the challenge? Lu Chen frowned slightly. He still remembered the crown prince of the imperial family. He was that kid with excellent acting skills. Challenge me? In Lu Chen's impression, although the crown prince was quite sinister, he shouldn't be so brainless. Don't tell me he found master. Lu Chen thought for a moment. This guy didn't mention it in the post, but with his sinister personality, he couldn't rule out this possibility. He challenged in his own name, but in the end, he let his master fight. It seemed reasonable for his master to fight for his disciple. For things like a duel, many people didn't care about the process, only the result. However, a bet of 20 million seemed a bit interesting. Lu Chen wasn't short of money now. But who would complain about having more money? Most importantly, looking at the crown prince's arrogant post, if Nameless didn't agree, he would probably cause trouble for him all day long. Lu Chen couldn't reply directly, so he decided to let Li Muhua help him reply. Nameless boss, you actually took the initiative to call me. What's the matter? Help me reply to the post. The one about the crown prince who challenged you? Lu Chen smiled slightly. Li Muhua's brain was still not bad. Yes, just say that I accept the challenge, and I don't want money for the wager. If I send out a divine beast, the other party must also send out a divine beast. I'll set the time, tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. They can choose the place. Lu Chen, don't you think you agreed a bit too hastily? Have you seen the news on the official website? There are a lot of high-level players now. I've seen it. You still accepted the challenge after seeing it. That crown prince must have something to rely on. I'm guessing that an expert has taken him in as a disciple. When the time comes, he will provoke you with a few words, and then ask his master to fight. What will you do? Wow, so that's how insidious. Help me reply to the post. Just do as I said just now. Li Muhua broke down. This guy didn't even take his words seriously. Big brother, did you not understand what I said? You can only take in disciples when you're at level 42. Can you beat a level 42 person when you're at level 30? Then you want me to be a coward. No, Aya. This is indeed tricky. That guy is really troublesome. That's right, you don't want me to be a coward, and you don't want me to fight. Why don't you fight for me? No, I can't do it. Lu Chen, are you confident? Lu Chen smiled slightly. wanting to tease Li Muhua. No, I'm not. Oh right, don't you have a divine beast? If I lose, I'll give it to him as compensation. Fuck. This. Sigh. Alright my Xiao Mao. It's going to leave daddy my Xiao Mao Mao Mao. Li Muhua was actually willing to return the divine beast to Lu Chen. This guy was really honest. Ha ha ha, I'm just teasing you. Look at how reluctant you are. It's as if I'm taking your life. Don't worry. It's yours since I'm giving it to you. I'll get my own divine beast. Lu Chen smiled. I think there are many people who want my divine beast. Coincidentally, I also want to tell those so-called closed beta players that they better not mess with me. You're so confident. Alright, I got it. Under Crown Prince's post, Iron and Bloodguard replied in red. Hello everyone. I'm Iron Bloodguard, and I'm also Nameless Friend. He gave me one of the 4 divine beasts that he gave to the server. This should be enough to prove our relationship. Nameless doesn't want to expose his ID, so he asked me to speak on his behalf. He has agreed to accept Crown Prince's challenge, but he has 2 conditions. First, he will send out a divine beast, but Crown Prince must also send out a divine beast. Don't tell me you don't have one. Nameless knows that you want your master to fight, so he should have one. If he doesn't, then don't blame Nameless for not accepting the challenge. Second, Nameless set the time. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. You can choose the location. The above is Nameless' reply. I can vouch for it with my identity as the Iron Blood Guild Master. No matter how strong the Iron Blood Guild was, many people knew that this guild had a military background. With the Iron Blood Guild vouching for it, this matter couldn't be wrong. As soon as the post was posted, it caused a huge commotion. So Crown Prince is using his master as a weapon. Wait, if Nameless knows about it, why did he accept the challenge? He wants to fight with a closed beta player? Haven't closed beta players been playing for a few months already? If he can take in a disciple, he must be at least level 42. Nameless must be crazy. Level is a small matter. The key is the equipment. How can level 42 equipment compare to level 30 equipment? Tomorrow at 9 a.m., damn, I have to watch the live stream. Crown Prince also received the news. After reading Iron and Bloodguard's reply, he immediately showed it to Exquisite Purple Heart. Master, Nameless says it must be a divine beast. Bet on divine beasts. Exquisite Purple Heart narrowed her eyes. Yo, he knows I'm going to fight, but he still dares to accept the challenge. Looks like he wants to fight for my divine beast. Kid, you've got guts. I accept. Tomorrow at Jiutian, I'll make him the laughingstock of the entire server. Crown Prince was extremely excited. The opportunity he had been waiting for had finally arrived. Chapter 192. Lu Chen chose the time for the duel at 9 in the morning. There were still 12 hours to go. Lu Chen was about to reach level 34. He needed a total of 27 million experience points to reach level 35. One ancient war general would give 840,000 experience points. Killing one in 4 minutes meant that he needed to kill 33 of them. It would take more than 2 hours. Including restarting the ancient battlefield instance dungeon and killing small monsters. 3 hours would be enough. It would end at 11:30. He would sleep for 8.5 hours, eat breakfast, do some grocery shopping, and train his body. It would be just right. Lu Chen was not afraid to duel with his opponent now. However, he really wanted to equip his level 35 orange weapon. It would be good to try out this weapon. While Lu Chen was killing ancient war generals, Louis ran into Lu Chen's room in a panic. Louis knocked on Lu Chen's helmet and said anxiously, "Brother, you want to duel with Tai Chi?" "Brother, if he dares to challenge you to a duel, there must be someone behind him. There are many beta testers with high levels." "I know. It's okay." Louis only found out about this when she received a call from Xiao Mei. She was worried about her brother and hurried over to find him. However, Lu Chen seemed very calm. This meant that he knew about the beta testers. With her brother's personality, he was not the kind of person who would accept a duel on a whim. Louis was slightly relieved. "Then brother, can you win?" The helmet blocked most of Lu Chen's face. Only the corner of his mouth could be seen. "Fatty, do you want a divine beast?" "Ah, what? Wait, who's Fatty?" "You're the Fatty." Hee, if you want it, pray that your brother can win. Now that there were divine beasts in the game, he definitely had what others had and what others did not. Therefore, he would not use the divine beast he won in the end. Last time, Lu Yi was still in Dragon Ascension. If Lu Chun gave it to her, it might have become Dragon Ascensions. However, it was different now. Lu Yi was in wild waves. Lu Chun naturally wanted to give it to his sister. Brother, I don't want it. You can keep it for yourself. I have it. Who else can I give it to, fool? Lu Yi was stunned for a moment. The other party didn't seem to have said what kind of divine beast would appear. Why did her brother say that there was already one? By the way, I plan to buy 2 gaming cabins in the next 2 days. Go to the official website and choose the one you like. Also, help me pick one. Lu Chen's words interrupted Lu Yi's thoughts. Do you want to buy a cabin? It's very expensive. It costs hundreds of thousands. It's okay. We're not short of money now. Go ahead and choose. It's not good for your spine to sit with a helmet on. Even if Lu Yi didn't know about Lu Chen's other identity, with Nameless Bro's ability to earn money, he could easily afford a gaming cabin that cost 700,000 to 800,000. Oh, that brother, I'm going to watch your duel tomorrow. Lu Chen had always doted on his sister, so such a small request was naturally nothing to him. Okay, I'll take you there. Sleep early tonight. 1.5 hours of the ancient dungeon had ended. Lu Chen was teleported out. He was now level 34, had obtained 15 ancient hearts, and a pile of 7-star materials. My spiritual energy is already 112. I haven't specifically leveled up my spiritual energy, but it's leveled up quite quickly. Lu Chen looked at the surrounding piles of stones, and randomly chose another one. Your reputation is enough to open the ancient altar. You can open the 4th altar. Requires 20 million reputation points. Do you want to open it? Damn, 20 million reputation points? Lu Chen exclaimed. That's not right. The player that appeared at the first altar was already wearing a full set of purple equipment. This altar might summon an even stronger player. If he's twice as strong as the previous player, he should have at least 2 or 3 pieces of orange equipment. That's going to be a little difficult. After seeing orange equipment, Lu Chen wasn't sure if he could easily defeat an orange equipment player. I'll fight this another time. I definitely can't sleep past midnight today. Lu Chen looked at a few more altars and found the second altar. This one required 10 million reputation points. This one has the same difficulty as the first altar. The first altar dropped ancient hearts. This one might drop ancient fragments. Let's give it a try. After spending 10 million reputation points, a white light appeared from the altar and summoned the player. When the white light faded, Lu Chen and the player in front of him looked at each other. Both of them were stunned. It was fate. Ah, why is it this monster again? Is this the only monster at my level? The woman was about to cry. Don't come over, you ugly thing. Lu Chen shook his head. Of course, his head was independent of his body and could move alone. What the hell? Why am I always matched with this guy? Right, she seems to be very timid. If I can scare her away, I won't have to fight. Thinking of this, Lu Chen revealed a sinister smile. His huge body floated up slightly, and 2 jackalen arms stretched out weakly. The head on the side said in a half-dead tone, I died so miserably. What the hell? Why is the monster talking? The woman was scared and shrank to the side. Don't come over. I'm warning you. On my head was pierced by a wooden stick. Can you help me take a look? Lu Chen's head flew to the woman. The woman hugged herself into a ball and took a peek. She saw the 2 long wooden horns on the tiger's head. She also saw Lu Chen sticking out his tongue and rolling his eyes. No, I don't want to. I don't want to help you take a look. My body, that snake ate half of my body. It hurts, it really hurts. The woman completely broke down. Don't come over, woo-woo. I want to go back. I don't want to fight anymore. A white light flashed and the woman fled. Lu Chen retracted his tongue and shook his head helplessly. Sigh, he relied on his ugliness to win another 10%. Speaking of which, this wasn't something to be happy about. No matter what, winning was a good thing. Moreover, it was an easy win. It seems that the effects will be better if I fuse with the zombies in the underground mine. Speaking of which, that beauty is really unlucky to have met me twice in a row. Lu Chen frowned. What she said just now seemed to be that only people of the same strength level would be matched together. That means that her strength should be about the same as mine. 2 altars worth 10 million reputation points should be matched with opponents of similar strength. But, where did that guy come from? Lu Chen couldn't figure out this question for the time being, but he didn't want to dwell on it. Anyway, as the player's level increased, he believed that more mysteries would be answered. Congratulations, you have defeated your opponent. 10 million reputation points are returned. You have obtained the qualification to enter the ancient battlefield once. The entrance to the instance dungeon appeared on the altar. Lu Chen entered the instance dungeon directly. Along the way, Lu Chen relied on the heavenly flame pillar to clear the wild monsters. The monster in the boss room was still the ancient war general. Lu Chen asked for invisibility, and used the same trick again to farm the boss without any pressure. Killed ancient war general, level 42 ancient boss. Obtained 840,000 heaven and earth spiritual energy. Obtained 2 rank 7 talent fragments. Obtained 2 rank 7 quality points. Obtained 2 pure spiritual energy. Ding! Obtained ancient fragment *1. Haha, it really dropped a fragment. This is what I wanted. Let's farm. Chapter 193. After finishing this dungeon, Lu Chen's experience had increased by more than half. One more attempt, and he would reach 35. For the third attempt, Lu Chen chose the second altar. After all, the fragment required more than the primordial heart. For the third attempt, it was the same woman again. When she saw Lu Chen, the woman was completely enraged. What the hell? Why is it still this monster? I'm telling you, I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm going to kill you. Ugh, I'm already dead. Look, I don't even have a head. The woman took a deep breath. Her courage instantly crumbled when she saw Lu Chen's head. What shitty altar? Hey you stinky monster. Why are you always following me? You pick whatever I choose. I'm scared of you, okay? I'm going to fight the 20 million one. With a whoosh, the woman flew away. Lu Chen shook his head helplessly. They were matched together 3 times in a row. Fate was not shallow. Actually, he wanted to tell the beauty that he was going to rest after this attempt. In the end, the woman went to fight the 20 million one. He did not know what the result would be. Speaking of which, what was the standard of the altar's combat power? The woman said that she would fight the 20 million one, which meant that she had a chance of winning. It was just that it would be more difficult or troublesome. I really want to try the 20 million one. Who knows, the reward might be better. Forget it, it's getting late. I'll level up first. We'll talk about the duel later. The dungeon had been opened. Lu Chen walked into the dungeon and continued to level up. Lu Chen casually cleared the small monsters and killed the boss a few times before leveling up. I'm finally level 35. Lu Chen was busy with his own business as he killed the boss. He opened his backpack and took out the orange weapon. It was a long sword that was burning with flames. As the weapon was orange equipment, it had an orange glow, causing the flames to turn orange-red. Blazing sword, level 35 orange. Unique. Perhaps the game would reset after the closed beta players tested it, resulting in 2 unique blazing swords. However, there were only 2 of them. Moreover, the number of closed beta players could not possibly be as many as the total number of Wuxia players. When they activated the Blood Pool Secret Realm, their levels should be around level 30. It was uncertain if the closed beta players could stop the invasion of the Blood Devils. Attack power. Physical attack 413 to 624, magic attack 100, strength 726, agility 822, physique 683. Lu Chen shook his head. The attributes of this level 35 orange equipment were going to explode. It added so much 3D. Special effect 1. Flame Slash. Inflicts 3 segments of damage. Each segment deals physical attack plus magic attack. *2. 10,442 points of damage. An additional magic attack *3. 705 points of fire damage. Lasts for 5 seconds. Special Effect 2. Double critical hit chance plus 10%. Triple critical hit chance plus 2%. Critical hit damage plus 80%. Special Effect 3. Artifact Weapon. If the Roaring Flame Sword is equipped in the artifact column, the Roaring Flame Sword's attributes and special effects will be added to the current weapon. As an orange-grade weapon, the Flaming Sword's basic attributes were very strong. However, the first two special effects were relatively weak, especially the second one, which was even worse than Tiger Weep. However, as an orange-grade weapon, the strongest thing about the Flaming Sword was the third special effect. With this skill alone, the Flaming Sword was already worthy of its status as an orange-grade weapon. Artifact weapons were more powerful than the weapon fusion of a refiner. Fusion could only retain the special effects and required a lot of materials. However, the Flaming Sword directly added all the attributes to another weapon. This included attack power, 3D bonuses, and special effects. Liu Chen opened the second artifact slot and placed the Flaming Sword there to activate the artifact weapon. At this time, looking at the attributes of the Wishful Staff, it was already very scary. First of all, the appearance had changed. The purple mist emitted by the Wishful Staff had turned orange. The staff was burning with orange-red flames. Damn! The Wishful Staff has directly become an orange-grade weapon. It has also become a level 35 weapon. Wishful Staff, level 35 orange. Enhance plus 4. Fusion plus 3. Artifact strengthening state. Attack power. Physical attack 617 to 932. Spiritual attack 100. Strength, 980 agility. 1262 physique. 865. These basic attributes. It's invincible, Liu Chen said excitedly. A single attribute of a piece of equipment was increased to 1000. It was too exaggerated. Double critical hit plus 32%. Triple critical hit plus 2%. Critical hit plus 260%. Fusion. Artifact strengthening. Special Effect 1. Earth-splitting gap. Special Effect 2 clone. Special Effect 3 tree climb. Special Effect 4. Fusion Tiger descends the mountain. Special Effect 5. Fusion Tiger roar. Special Effect 6. Artifact strengthening flame slash. What else can I say? The Wishful Staff is now very strong. Liu Chen could not help but sigh. The combat power of the Wishful Staff had suddenly increased by several levels. Check the personal attribute panel. Character binding. Liu Chen character. Brave Tiger and Dragon Might. Silent Moon Vanguard Top Dog. Tiger Capturer. Blood Pool Vanguard Elite. Especially strong, especially agile, especially muscular Knoll Leader Bronze Boss, Black Barton. Quality, complete 5-star 3-dimensional increase by 700%, 0/640, 7-star quality, 0/2 Ancient Heart, 0 to 1 Ancient Blood. Level, 35, upgrade progress, 630,000/24, 000,000. Physical strength, 3744. Basic 1328 plus equipment 1951 plus title 465. Agility, 3174. Basic 1328 plus equipment 1846. Physique, 3334. Basic 1328 plus equipment 1873 plus title 133. Spiritual power, 122. Elixir 122. 4331/12200. Pure spiritual energy. Attack power. Physical attack. 4653 to 4984 spiritual attack. 235. Spiritual power 122 plus equipment 113. Defense power. 1772. Basic 664 plus equipment 875 plus title 233. Spiritual defense. 92 health. 79792. Basic 33060 plus equipment 37460 plus title 9272. My attack is going to break 5000. Damn, this feels great. In terms of talents, Liu Chen had upgraded all of them to stage 5. Inferior Werewolf Bloodline. 25% double critical hit. 5% triple critical hit. Inferior Venomous Spider Bloodline. 3. 5% poison damage, which was 2793 poison damage. The duration increased by 1 second to 6 seconds. Movement speed increased by 22%. Inferior snake bloodline, 3. 5% poison damage. 7 steps poison damage increased by 15% with each step. Inferior succubus bloodline. Increased vision by 500 meters. Immunity to low-level charms and increased movement capture efficiency by 30%. Wuxia tried to look at the boss next to him, so that he could see the boss's hand movements more clearly. Inferior tiger bloodline. 3 consecutive hits. Undead bloodline. 18% physical defense and 10% spiritual defense of enemies in range. The army recruitment order had now been upgraded to 3rd job advancement individual. Even Wuxia himself was surprised that his stats at level 35 were already so abnormal. Ha, the stats are too cool. Wuxia laughed. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's duel more and more. Closed beta player? Interesting. Closed beta player? Wuxia was not afraid of sharing the burden. Instead, the sudden appearance of these so-called experts made Wuxia even more excited. Chapter 194. There was still half an hour before the 50th day celebration ended. Wuxia looked at his ranking. He was firmly in first place, more than 10,000 points ahead of the second place. Everything was ready. Wuxia logged out of the game. He slept until 8 in the morning. Wuxia took his sister out for breakfast, went grocery shopping, and exercised in the yard as usual. At 8:30, Wuxia went online. As soon as he changed into his human skin, Wuxia received a message. Leader, I'm Red High Heels. Can we go with you? Sure, wait for me at the city gate. I'll pick you up. Prince agreed to meet at Firmament City. Wuxia took his sister and 7 or 8 people from Mad Waves to the location of the duel on Golden Retriever. With outsiders around, Louis didn't say many things in public. On the other hand, the people from Mad Waves were more worried about Nameless. Leader, there's a professional bookmaker outside. They've set the odds at 2. 3. The higher the odds, the lower the odds. If it was more than 1, it meant that the bookmaker thought that Nameless would lose to a closed beta player. Moreover, it was 2. 3 now. The bookmaker predicted that Nameless only had a 30% chance of winning. Wuxia smiled. Aren't you guys going to bet? Leader, why aren't you nervous at all? Floral Fragrance looked at Wuxia anxiously. We don't even know who the opponent is, or what equipment they have. Jun shook his head. Floral Fragrance, don't say any more. Since Nameless has accepted the challenge, there's no point in saying these things. We should believe in our leader now. Red High Heels added. Yes, we're here to encourage our leader. Don't say such discouraging words. The 2 rookies, Zihao and Xianxian, were particularly excited. Leader, you can do it. Wuxia smiled and nodded. Speaking of which, it was quite lonely to play the game alone. However, after unintentionally forming Mad Waves, he felt that he wasn't so lonely anymore. 10 minutes later, the Golden Retriever arrived at Firmament City. There were already many people gathered here. There were at least 4,000 to 5,000 people. Among these 4,000 to 5,000 people, there were many who were showing live streaming. Some of them were individual streamers, while others were guild streamers. Other than that, there were also many guild leaders and closed beta players. The popularity of Fengling's livestream had reached 70 million. Nameless duel with the Crown Prince, or more accurately, the duel with the Crown Prince's master, had become the hottest topic on the official website. Many people woke up early on the weekend just to watch this big battle. Did you see the equipment of the beta testers? His entire body is emitting a purple aura. Is he wearing a full set of purple equipment? We've never seen their equipment before. This is very disadvantageous for Nameless. They know the special effects of low-level equipment, but we don't know the special effects of their equipment. Level 30 against level 40. I feel like Nameless is a little too arrogant this time. Over at the bookmakers, most of the bets are on Nameless losing. I think it's pretty cool. He used to rely on his level, and acted like he was the strongest. Now he's going to be punished. No matter what, I believe that Nameless isn't that stupid. If he's going to lose, why are there so many people watching? Wuxia looked at the scene and smiled. There are quite a lot of people. He jumped down and Golden Retriever placed its hand in front of its shoulder. The others jumped onto its palm, and were then sent to the ground by Golden Retriever. Lu Chen walked to the center of the battlefield. There were already 2 people waiting for him. When he saw the Crown Prince, Lu Chen couldn't help but laugh. "Brother Crown Prince, how have you been?" The Crown Prince looked at Lu Chen's laughing face, and suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. It wasn't that they hadn't fought before. Back then this guy looked harmless. Who knew that he would suddenly kill him with a single slash? However, the Crown Prince didn't show any weakness. "You still have the guts to ask. You despicable person. You stole my divine beast while I was low on health. There's not a day that I don't want to take revenge on you. I can steal your divine beast, but I can't stand you taking advantage of the situation. I can't stand you pretending to be mysterious. In fact, you're just a despicable person. If it wasn't for my divine beast, would you have today's achievements? You can go from a nameless junior to today's war god Nameless? All of your achievements are because you're despicable and shameless enough." Lu Chen spread his hands. "While you were low on health. I'm sorry. Back then, you told me that you weren't the Crown Prince, and even scolded him as a despicable and shameless person. At that time I really believed you. But I really couldn't stand it. How could you say that about the Crown Prince? He's actually a very good person. Other than cheating war god Huang Sha's divine beast, he shouldn't be too honest. You scolded him behind his back. You're simply too shameless. Then I killed you. Who knew that you're the Crown Prince? Sorry. The Crown Prince almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. This guy said he was sorry, but he revealed all the things he did back then. Cheating his companion's divine beast, pretending that he wasn't himself. In order to lure the Nameless away, he didn't hesitate to curse him. None of his actions were honorable. This guy didn't only know how to level up and fight. His mouth was also quite vicious. Lu Chen's sarcastic words made the Crown Prince speechless. Instead, it was the purple-clothed beauty beside him who took over the conversation. "I couldn't tell that you're quite eloquent." Exquisite Purple Heart smiled contemptuously, then changed the topic. "That's your mount." "That's right." Exquisite Purple Heart snorted coldly. "The Crimson Macaque is just trash in our eyes." As soon as she said that, the live stream went into an uproar. Damn, she's a closed beta player indeed. She doesn't even care about the Nameless mount. Why don't you take a look at the closed beta players' mounts? They're so cool. This woman is not bad looking, and she's so arrogant. I like it. Exquisite Purple Heart sized up Lu Chen's equipment and laughed coldly. "You're almost done with the Monkey King set. 3 purples and 5 mana, and it's even strengthened. TSK. Actually, you're only missing the Monkey King head. I suggest you farm it properly. For you, the Monkey King head's attributes are quite good. When I beat you up, it'll look like I'm playing a monkey." Lu Chen frowned slightly. This woman was quite good at talking. "As for me, I can see that you haven't seen much of the world, so I'll remind you that you're allowed to spawn camp in the wild. After you die, you must revive at least 3 times. Do you understand?" The woman walked seductively in front of Lu Chen, and looked at Lu Chen with a half-smile. "So, you'd better pray that you don't expose your equipment. It'll be very embarrassing." Lu Chen really didn't know. He thought that the wild duel was just a battle in the wild. "Got it." Lu Chen replied with a smile. "Very good." The woman sent out an invitation to the wild duel, and at the same time, placed a fire qilin as the prize. Lu Chen took out the fire qilin, and patted the little guy's head. "Little White, I'll have to trouble you for a bit." Then he placed the fire qilin's cub in the bet. "Wow, a divine beast. This duel is too extravagant. 2 divine beasts, I'm so hungry I'm crying. Oh my god, why am I more nervous than the person in question?" With divine beasts as the prize, even those who were watching felt their breathing quicken. The wild duel entered the countdown. 3, 2, everyone held their breaths. Chapter 195. Almost everyone was so nervous that they forgot to breathe. Only a dozen or so people looked relaxed, a stark contrast to the players around them. These people were the legendary closed beta players. They had rushed over from various regions, leisurely waiting for the match to begin. Purple Heart is so boring. What's the point of fighting a level 35 at level 42? They were all very high level. Even if Lu Chen did not take any damage, they could still see his level. Leveling up is boring. That nameless guy looks like he's crazy. It's good to teach him a lesson. Yeah, some people just need to know their place. How dare he challenge us closed beta players? This time we'll take his EXP first. Speaking of which, how many divine beasts does this guy have? I've wanted to kill him for a long time, but Purple Heart beat me to it. I can earn money and divine beasts. Awesome. The battle began in the midst of these godlike players' idle chatter. Exquisite Purple Heart smiled. Suddenly, a bell appeared beside her, emitting a purple aura. Spiritual attack enhancement. Golden bell protection. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes. That bell should be a purple treasure. As the level increased, there were more options for equipment. The bell rang, and the purple longsword in Purple Heart's hand glowed with a golden light. It looked like it had received some kind of special buff. The monkey show begins. Exquisite Purple Heart smiled, preparing to make the next move. At this time Lu Chen also moved. He first put on the Zombie King mask. Spider web entanglement. Rapid movement. A ball of white spider web accurately captured Exquisite Purple Heart. At the same time, Lu Chen's figure moved so quickly that it was difficult to follow with the naked eye. No one noticed that in the process of rapid movement, Lu Chen had activated two skills at the same time, Doppelganger and Invisibility. After a series of rapid movements, Nameless' real body had disappeared, leaving only a doppelganger behind. Claptrap. Exquisite Purple Heart snorted. She was not in a hurry. She had seen spider web entanglement before. If the opponent did not attack, it would last for a long time. But once the opponent attacked, the spider web would be broken. So, no matter what tricks the opponent was playing, there was no need to be afraid. As long as the fight started, spider web entanglement would be broken. Not long after, Nameless rushed towards Exquisite Purple Heart and smashed down with his club. -420, -462 poison, -462 poison, -1512 double critical, -462 poison, -1548 double critical, -462 poison, -462 poisoned. 9 segments of damage, dealing 6,252 damage. This attack caught the attention of the closed beta players who had their arms crossed in front of their chests. Damn, that guy's damage is pretty good. The life-saving golden bell is definitely one of the best purple treasures. It adds magic attack, adds maximum HP, and reduces damage by 80% for a short period of time. He can actually still deal such high damage? Poison extracted from the weapon? Or a poison master? There's actually a 3-hit combo. What kind of dog's hit luck did he step on to have such a skill? As expected of an expert, the average player still couldn't understand the principles behind Nameless and Mad God's attacks. But they were able to see through Lu Chen's attack with just one glance. It was a triple hit combo with 2 stacks of poison, and they even came up with a possible explanation. Of course, their guess was completely wrong. However, the ones who were truly shocked were the players. Damn, that Exquisite Purple Heart has 120,000 HP? Are you kidding me? Her defense is so high. Nameless attack should be over 2,000, right? But without a critical hit, it can only deal around 400 damage? That's too strong. Exquisite Purple Heart, however, was furious that Lu Chen could deal so much damage to her. Poison Purification. With one move, she dispelled the poison effect on her body. Kid, you're asking for it. 3 Pure Sword Formation. The purple longsword in her hand split into 3 and shot towards Lu Chen. Exquisite Purple Heart was a sword spirit, and her skill was much stronger than the average players. This 3 Pure Sword Formation allowed one sword to split into 3. It started quickly and was almost instantaneous. The flying speed of the sword formation was extremely fast. Unless the average player predicted it, it would be very difficult for them to dodge. Lu Chen was originally the closest to Exquisite Purple Heart. Facing the 3 Pure Sword Formation, he had no chance to dodge, and was hit directly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The sword formation went straight through Lu Chen's body. Minus 5,633, magic attack. Minus 5,633, magic attack. Minus 5,633, magic attack. At the same time, 2 debuffs appeared on Lu Chen's body. One was 3 stacks of magic attack of vulnerability. When receiving a magic attack, receive an additional 15% damage. The other was paralysis. The entire body was paralyzed, and the paralysis lasted for 0.5 seconds. Lu Chen's 70,000 plus HP was instantly reduced by 1/5. He was even hit by 2 debuffs. Royal Crown Prince looked at his master's attack in shock. Was this the power of a high-level skill? It was too strong. However, Exquisite Purple Heart's attack was not over yet. 3 Pure Sword Formation Stage 2. Exquisite Purple Heart clenched her fingers. The sword formation that was far away heard the command, and suddenly turned around, launching a second wave of attacks from behind. Minus 6,196, magic attack. Minus 6,196, magic attack. Minus 6,196, magic attack. Magic attack of vulnerability was stacked 2 more times, reaching the limit of 5 stacks. Receive an additional 25% damage from magic attacks. 3 Pure Sword Formation, Stage 3. This caused the live stream to explode. Fuck, there's still 3 more stages. Is there any justice? The 3 Pure Sword Formation is too strong. In the beginning, we were only talking about the difference in level and equipment. It turns out that the key is the difference in skill. This skill is so cool, and its damage is so high. The sword spirits must be so excited that they're crying. Sigh, I'm so jealous. However, Lu Chen's HP was a little surprising. Nameless Bro has 70,000 plus HP? When his level is high, can his HP increase by so much? 70,000 plus HP is not enough. The first stage of the 3 Pure Sword Formation took away almost half of his HP. Let's see how much damage the third stage can do. The 3 purple swords merged into one and became solid again, stabbing towards Lu Chen. Pfft. 28750, magic critical hit. Fuck. Magic attacks can also deal critical hits. It should be the third stage. Don't forget, Nameless Bro has a 25% magic damage amplification. This 3 Pure Sword Formation is too strong. It's over. Nameless Bro only dealt a small amount of damage to his opponent, and now he's only left with 10,000 plus HP. Is this the strength of a closed beta player? This is too scary. The purple sword returned to Exquisite Zixin's hand. This time, she was not in a hurry to attack. Kid, do you know the difference between us now? I've only used a few moves and you're almost dead. Ha ha ha, it's really like playing a monkey. Zixin looked at Nameless, but found that his expression had not changed from the beginning to the end. He was probably disheartened. Alright, looks like you know that you're trash. Then I don't need to waste time with you. Zixin raised her sword finger, and the purple sword hovered beside her. I'll use a low-level move to kill you. 10,000 sword technique. The purple sword opened up like a fan, creating afterimages. Then, 9 purple swords shot towards Lu Chen at the same time. 10,000 sword technique. 10,000 arrows piercing the heart. Pu. Minus 3,444. Minus 3,444. 9 attacks all hit. Lu Chen could not dodge at all under the paralysis effect. Louis held on tightly to Lung Nua, but she could not help but stagger and take half a step back. Nameless Bro lost. Bro did not even have the strength to fight back. No, this was impossible. Trash. Crown Prince roared in agitation. Now all of you see how trash Nameless Bro is? He ordered people to bully people lower than him. And when he met someone stronger, he was played like a monkey in the palm of his hand. Ha 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 ha. Nameless Bro, you're trash. Crown Prince was agitated for a long time. When he turned to look at his master, he found that her expression was not right. Master, shut up. Exquisite Zixin's expression had never been so serious. The closed beta players around them had the same expression as Exquisite Zixin. They stared at the battlefield, as if there was an invisible monster somewhere on the battlefield, ready to pounce at any moment. Crown Prince was completely confused until he looked down at Nameless Bro's corpse. After staring for a few seconds, Nameless Bro's corpse suddenly turned into smoke with a bang. Chapter 196. Zixin finally understood that what she had killed was just an illusion. In the battlefield, a faint voice sounded. So, who's the one fooling who? Zixin's face was ashen. The other party was just an illusion, and she had fought as if it was real. Who was the one fooling who? The key was, when did this guy use an illusion to replace his real body? That's right, it was that rapid movement. During the rapid movement he could use skills. He relied on the super high movement speed of the rapid movement to fool everyone's eyes. At the same time, he used invisibility and doppelganger. This way, when the rapid movement ended, everyone would only see a doppelganger. The closed beta players had already seen through the trick, but the other players were completely dumbfounded. Fuck, what's going on? Was that nameless illusion just now? What kind of godly operation is this? No one saw that it was an illusion? Even the closed beta players couldn't see through it, let alone us. It was still the TT Guild. Lin Sun shook his head. This guy fooled everyone. This is the first time I've seen someone use an illusion like this. Li Qiuning clasped her hands together and said excitedly, I told you he wouldn't be killed so quickly. He's nameless. In a villa in the Sunshine District, Li Muhua and his men were watching the duel. Seeing Lu Chen's trick, the group of men hugged each other excitedly. Damn, I was scared to death. I thought that guy was dead. Ha ha ha, Brother Chen is also a narrow-minded person. That girl kept saying that fighting him was like playing a monkey, but he insisted on playing with his opponent. Ha ha ha, awesome. Look at Prince's expression. Ha ha ha, he's a complete idiot. Exquisite Zixin narrowed her eyes slightly. Where did this guy get the invisibility skill? Nameless, the wild monsters now don't have invisibility skills. Where did you get it? Aren't you all closed beta players? You should know more than me. Why do you need me to tell you? Voices came from all directions. Why don't you be my disciple? Maybe I can tell you. A level 42 disciple of a level 35 disciple. How could there be such a thing? Lu Chen was obviously retorting. Damn it. Don't think that you can win just because you used some tricks. So what if you're invisible? I don't believe that you can stay invisible forever. As long as you come out, I'll chop you into pieces today. Cut me into pieces? Exquisite. I've already checked your status. That bell of yours is pretty strong. It adds 80% HP and 80% damage reduction. Unfortunately, the damage reduction effect has already worn off. Lu Chen made his move while invisible. Not only did he want to toy with Exquisite Purple Heart, he was also waiting for the duration of the life-saving bell to end. In the beginning, Lu Chen discovered that the life-saving bell provided a massive amount of damage reduction. This damage reduction was too awesome. It was precisely because of this that Lu Chen concluded that the life-saving bell, as a purple magic weapon, could not be a permanent buff. It must only be able to last for a certain period of time. Now it seemed that Lu Chen's guess was half correct. The life-saving bell's defense reduction had disappeared, but the HP buff had not yet ended. Exquisite's HP was still at 120,000 plus. For Lu Chen, the disappearance of the defense reduction was enough. 120,000 HP was not the main point. Exquisite Purple Heart was burning with anger. She immediately brought out her second magic weapon, an irregular piece of dark steel. Electric arcs constantly danced on the dark steel. Seeing this piece of dark steel, the closed beta players were all excited. This is the Thunder Iron of the 5 Elements God Iron? Fuck, Purple Heart got another purple magic weapon. As long as you're targeted by this thing, unless you kill its owner first, it'll electrocute you until you start doubting life. The God Iron quickly hovered in the middle of the arena, then wandered around as if looking for prey. Haha, Nameless, come out. Do you have the guts to come out? Exquisite Purple Heart stared at the Thunder Iron. As long as it locked onto Lu Chen, she would not hesitate to use her ultimate move to kill him. Just as she was fully focused on the Thunder Iron, a circle of light suddenly flashed under her feet. In a short second, the circle of light suddenly exploded. Heavenly Flame Pillar. dealing 4 spiritual attack per second for 2 seconds. Now that Lu Chen had converted all his physical attack into spiritual attack, his total spiritual attack was 5,000 plus. Perhaps Purple Heart did not expect that Lu Chen would have such a skill. She also did not expect that this skill would be activated without the need to appear. With a boom, a white light shot into the sky and drowned Purple Heart in an instant. 2013420134. Under the buff of the life-saving Golden Bell, Purple Heart's HP reached a terrifying 120,000. However, in front of the Heavenly Flame Pillar, Purple Heart's HP instantly dropped by 1/3. Purple Heart's heart trembled. What kind of attack was this? She could also deal 20,000 plus spiritual attack damage, but that was the 3rd section of the Sanqing sword formation. In a situation where the first 2 sections hit, the 3rd section would definitely deal double the damage. However, this Heavenly Flame Pillar dealt 20,000 plus damage. 2 hits directly took out 40,000 HP. This is the Heavenly Flame Pillar of the Celestial Mountain main city? No, it's even higher than the Heavenly Flame Pillar there. Yes, the Celestial Mountain main city's 72 Heavenly Flame Pillars deal 10,000 damage. Nameless Heavenly Flame Pillar deals 20,000 damage. Fuck, there's still points. The closed beta player's face turned green. No way, it can be activated while invisible? In other words, this is not a skill or special effect, but a treasure. Only a treasure could not break invisibility. Where did you get this treasure? Why is the damage so high? Lu Chen had killed the Aurora White Tiger's soul fragment and the Gore Fiend, but no one knew what he had killed. Now Lu Chen had confirmed that none of the closed beta players had killed the Aurora White Tiger. Then, it was very likely that they had not killed the Gore Fiend, who was stronger than the White Tiger. Exquisite Purple Heart hurriedly retreated from the Heavenly Flame Pillar's range. Suddenly, she heard a low voice behind her. Sorry, I've been waiting for you. Exquisite Purple Heart reacted quickly and hurriedly turned around to retreat. However, with this step, she had already stepped on another Heavenly Flame Pillar. 2048220484. Out of 120,000 HP, only 30,000 was left. You tricked me. Exquisite Purple Heart was completely flustered. She had actually been toyed with by a level 35 player. All is fair in war. The voice rang out, and Nameless actually appeared. Thunder Iron quickly found its target, and hovered above Nameless' head. Pa! A bolt of lightning struck. -2,000. Lu Chen smiled slightly. A purple treasure is still a purple treasure. This kind of treasure that deals continuous damage probably doesn't have high damage. You're only using this thing because you're afraid that I'll go invisible and want to locate my position. Exquisite Purple Heart glared at Lu Chen. His analysis was not wrong. If Thunder Iron could directly electrocute Nameless to death with 70,000 HP in a few hits, then it would at least be an orange treasure. Lu Chen smiled slightly. But don't worry, I don't plan on going invisible. There's no point in being invisible all the time. There's no sense in participating at all. Handsome, who was watching from the side, spat out a mouthful of old blood. What did he mean by no sense of participating at all? Did he mean that as long as he wanted to, he could kill Exquisite Purple Heart without losing any HP? Not a single drop of HP was lost in the battle. Thinking about it, it seemed that there was no sense of participation at all. Lu Chen pulled out his wishful long staff and looked up at Exquisite Purple Heart. You said that Blondie is trash. Well, I can't refute that. I can only say that I like it. It's none of your business. But you said that my equipment is trash. I'm a little unhappy about that. Compared to the high-level purple weapons of the closed beta players, the wishful long staff was indeed considered mediocre. However, when Lu Chen gently stroked the body of the long staff, everything changed. On the wishful long staff, there was a burst of fire, and the weapon's purple aura was instantly replaced by flames. The orange-red flames were burning fiercely. Look, your equipment is worthless in front of this. Exquisite Purple Heart, the closed beta players, the players in the audience, and the players watching the live broadcast. Many of them were shocked speechless. After a long time, one of the closed beta players stammered, "How is this possible? How is this possible? How can this weapon be an orange weapon? Earth-shattering chasm. With a bang, the wishful long staff transformed into a huge shadow. The entire sky seemed to be burning with flames, and the flames soared into the sky. With a bang, exquisite purple heart had no time to dodge, and was hit by the staff. 16488. Stun. Rapid movement. Tiger descends the mountain. In an instant, Lu Chen had already arrived in front of exquisite purple heart. He smiled slightly. Thank you for your fire, Kiran. This time, Lu Chen directly hit 18 segments of damage. There was no suspense. It was a direct kill. At the same time, the thunder iron above Lu Chen's head disappeared. He looked back at the crown prince and smiled slightly. Let your master run quickly. I'll wait for her. At this moment, the 4,000 to 5,000 people in the audience were silent. Chapter 197. In a battle in the wild, even if one side was defeated, they had to revive at least 3 times. If they did not revive after the time limit, the system would force them to revive. A person who had just revived only had 10% HP left. If they could not win with full HP, and even less with 10% HP, there was no suspense to the final result. As soon as exquisite Zixin revived, Lu Chen smashed her with his staff. Without the life-saving exquisite state, she only had 67,000 HP. Lu Chen's doppelganger could kill her instantly, let alone his own attack. She was killed instantly and continuously. She even dropped a level 40 purple greaves. The second time, exquisite Zixin was forcefully revived by the system. As soon as she revived, Lu Chen saw tears at the corner of her eyes. However, Lu Chen still smashed her with his staff. Exquisite Zixin dropped another level 40 purple breastplate. The third time, exquisite Zixin was forcefully revived by the system again. At this time, everyone realized that exquisite Zixin was only level 41. Fuck, she was killed until she dropped a level? The higher the level, the higher the death penalty. But to drop a level after dying 3 times, that's a little scary. Jiutian is the most insane game in history. Moreover, exquisite Zixin might have just reached level 42. What I want to say is that Nameless is too cruel. He didn't stop even after she was crying. What do you know? That's how a battle in the wild is. Nameless didn't kill her. Did Nameless have to admit defeat? Who told her to start a battle in the wild? Exquisite Zixin was the strongest player, selected by the Tianqing Company. Even among the closed beta players, her strength was not bad. In the end, she was killed repeatedly by a normal player. She was on the verge of breaking down. Humiliation, unwillingness, anger, shame. Even her only mythical beast was going to lose to that guy. If she had not been holding it in, tears would have flowed out of her eyes. After camping exquisite Zixin 3 times, before she could revive, the closed beta players all rushed to the scene and glared at Lu Chen. Lu Chen took off his Zombie King mask and smiled. What's wrong? Are you afraid that I'll continue to guard the corpse? 3 forced revivals in the wild only meant that the battle was over. It didn't mean that one side couldn't continue to spawn camp. If Lu Chen wanted to, he could continue to spawn camp. Kid, you've got guts. Among the closed beta players, a valiant man stood at the very front. His ID was Burning Sword Saint. He looked coldly at Lu Chen and said, Today Ling Long suffered because of your invisibility. You may not be able to win if you fight her head-on. Lu Chen smiled and shook his head. After playing for so long, why are you still so childish? If this was reality, she would have already died in my hands. You're telling me to fight her head-on? Does it make any sense? Burning Sky Sword Saint coldly snorted. How arrogant. Nameless. Don't worry. If you feel bored with no one to play with, we'll wait for you in a level 40 map. Ha 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 ha. Why are you waiting for me in a level 40 map? Do you want to challenge me now because you don't like me? Or do you know what you're capable of? So you want to gang up on me in a level 40 map? Burning Sky Sword Saint narrowed his eyes and stared fixedly at Lu Chen. He said coldly, Humph, a half-full bucket of water is always the fiercest. Kid, do you think you're invincible? You're just lucky to have gotten yourself an invisibility treasure. Once your invisibility is broken, do you think you'll be able to jump up? I'm not afraid to tell you that the truly strong won't bother to make a move on low-level trash like you. At this time, Linglong Zixin had already revived. Her eyes were red as she stared fixedly at Lu Chen. Nameless, I, Linglong, will return today's humiliation 100-fold in the future. Linglong Zixin hated Lu Chen to the core. Losing 2 pieces of level 40 purple equipment was a small matter. What was more important was that she had lost face in front of all the players today. Lu Chen frowned and blinked his eyes. That's strange. Why do you speak as if you're the weaker party? Didn't you initiate this outdoor duel? If I lose, you'll probably have to play a few more tricks when you're camping my corpse before you're willing to kill me, right? Forget it. If you want to take revenge on me, you're welcome anytime. But you'd better remember this. Before you have any ideas about me, you'd better weigh your own abilities. The competition was over, and Lu Chen had obtained another fire qilin. Lu Chen turned around and saw the girl in the crowd who was already stiff all over. He smiled and shook his head. This silly girl must have been too worried about him just now, and still hadn't recovered. Hey beauty, come over here for a moment. Louis frowned. Even her steps were a little stiff as she walked in front of Lu Chen. Beauty, I see that you're pretty, so I'll give you this divine beast. Lu Chen didn't disclose Lu Yi's identity to protect his sister. Of course, when he saw the silly girl's dazed look, Lu Chen also felt that it was funny, so he deliberately teased her. In the end, Lu Chen's perfunctory reason caused an uproar in the live broadcast room. Fuck, you're giving her a divine beast just because she's pretty? Do you have to be so generous? No way, that works too? Giving it away so casually? My jaw is about to drop. He's giving away a divine beast just like that. A divine beast's cub is worth at least 10 million. And he's giving it away so easily? Don't be silly, she's from Wild Waves. Moreover, she even challenged Nameless to a competition last time. She should be Nameless' girlfriend. Fuck, the person above replied too promptly. Otherwise, I'd really be jealous to death. Impossible, how can my husband have a girlfriend? If she's his girlfriend, my husband would have leveled up with her. She's just a normal friend, a female fan said excitedly. Louis was also amused by her brother. She smiled coquettishly. Crazy. Louis was really happy. Although she never asked her brother for one. Who wouldn't want a divine beast's cub? A divine beast's cub was very cute in its infancy. It was impossible to tell that it would become a powerful divine beast in the future. At this time, Louis held the little guy with both hands and rubbed her face against the little guy intimately. Little thing, you're so cute. The group of people couldn't help but feel their hearts itch. I really want a divine beast. Whoever gives me one, I'll marry him immediately. This is too cute. I want one too. Whoever gives me a hug, I'll marry him immediately. I'm so jealous. At this time, there were 2 people whose hearts were bleeding. Exquisite Zixin naturally didn't need to be mentioned. She never dreamed that she would lose the fire qilin. Seeing someone else holding her pet, Exquisite couldn't hold it in anymore. She turned around and ran away. The other person was the royal crown prince. He had always wanted a divine beast. At this time, seeing Nameless give away a divine beast so easily, he almost broke down. He tried his best to get a divine beast, but John Doe gave it to someone else. The difference was too big. Lu Chen suddenly raised his voice and said, If anyone dares to have any ideas about the divine beast that I'm giving away, don't blame me for being ruthless. Those who still had some ideas about it suppressed them. Even the closed beta players couldn't win against Nameless. They were no match for her. Suddenly, Lu Chen turned around and looked at the royal crown prince with a smile. Except for you. The royal crown prince didn't understand. Nameless meant that he could have any ideas about the divine beast? Why? Next time, if there's such a good thing, remember to look for me. Hearing Nameless' last sentence, the royal crown prince almost vomited blood. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.